a fundamental existential issue for the United States. And if we have another 4 more years of open borders, and it's going to be even worse with another 4 more years, it's going to be even worse than it's been for the past 3.5 years. I'm not sure we've got a country.
You don't
left
have a country
at that
left.
point.
Elon, if they get in, you will have 50 to 60 million people from all over the world, not South America only. You know, we think of South America, we think of Honduras and El Salvador, Guatemala, and Mexico, you know, the four. But it's not that. It's everywhere. They're coming in from everywhere. And I had to stay in Mexico.
Yeah, I think this is a super important
Yeah.
point. Like people, it's like basically when I went down there, I was like, well, where are people from? It's like almost no one was from Mexico. to
No,
be clear.
Mexico less.
It's just
less
it's just
than
the
others.
border. It's just the border with Mexico. But the people coming in, it's Earth, the rest of Earth.
Yeah.
And America is only about 4 or 5% of the population of Earth. It would only take a few percent of the rest of Earth to overwhelm everything. In
We're
the US.
already
So,
overwhelmed, Elon. We're overwhelmed. You had to see the news tonight about New York, and I love that place. And what they're doing to it is horrible. What they're doing to it, and all the courts do is they
Yeah.
try and focus on Trump. Okay, then let's focus on Trump, who did nothing wrong. I complain about a rigged election. Elon, what's happened is unbelievable. You have from Africa. From the Congo, they're coming from the Congo, and 22 people came in from the Congo recently, and they're murderers, and they're dropped. They drop them. They take them out of jails, which is very expensive, to maintain the jails. Although they don't do too much maintaining, I can tell you. But they take them out of jails, prisons. They take them out, and they bring them to the United States. They deposit them in the United States and say, "Don't ever come back, or you're going to be executed." And they don't want to come back. But they won't come back.
Sure.
But they're coming from Africa. They're coming from Asia. They're coming from the Middle East. They're coming from South America.
Well, just
they're
Earth.
coming from
Rest of Earth,
everywhere.
basically.
And there are a lot of really
everywhere on
bad
Earth.
ones.
It's just an everywhere on Earth thing, and it's just not possible for the United States to absorb everyone from Earth, or even a few percent of the rest of Earth. It's just not possible. So,
Well, Elon, we're going to have, to finish this up, we're going to have the largest deportation in history of this country, and we have no choice. Otherwise, we're going to have a country, what they've done to our country. Think of it, in Venezuela and in some of these other countries, crime is down 50, 60, 70, 80%. And you would be the same. You would have.
Yeah.
I'll tell you what. Venezuela has not gotten rid of all of them. They've gotten rid of about 70% of their really bad people. Their jails are about 50% put into the United States. The same with other countries.
Sure.
Some are at 30%, some are at 50%. They're all different. But the bottom line is they're all going to be at 100%. Why wouldn't you put 100% of it? And they're doing it right now while this third-rate phony candidate. Don't forget, I beat Biden. He failed in the debate miserably. And, some people said, oh, gee, it's too bad. It's too bad he did so badly, or I did well in the debate. The first night they said, wow, one of the people at CNN said that was the greatest debate performance I've ever witnessed. And then 2 days later, they didn't talk about that. They just said he was bad. But that's okay. That's the way I get treated, and I don't mind that at all. What I can tell you is this. We cannot have a Democrat. We cannot have her. She's incompetent. She's as bad as Biden in a different... Look, she hasn't done an interview since this whole scam started. And say what you want. This was a coup. This was a coup of a president of the United States. He didn't want to leave, and they said, we can do it the nice way, or we can do it the hard way.
Yeah, no, I mean, they just took him out back behind the shed and basically shot him.
What they did with this guy, and I'm no fan of his, and he was a horrible president, the worst president in history. And one of the reasons he was so bad, first of all, the Israeli attack would have never happened. Russia would never have attacked Ukraine, and we'd have no inflation. And we wouldn't have had the Afghanistan mess, if you think of it.
Well,
and we wouldn't have had Afghanistan. But we think of it, you take a few of those events away, and we have a different world. We would also have inflation was caused by oil.
Yeah, I think you're making an excellent point here, which is that when other countries can, that are thinking about invading or doing bad things, when they're thinking about that, they're thinking about, okay, what's the American president going to do? And do they fear the American president, or is it someone they do not respect? and do not fear. And I think they would they rightfully be. I mean, look at the footage of the assassination. They're like, okay, uh, President Trump is like, don't mess with me. I mean, that's like, whereas I think people are not going to be, and they obviously have not been at all intimidated by Biden, and they certainly will not be intimidated by Kamala. And you have to really think of that in the context of global security. That's that if the American president is someone that, like, evil dictators are scared of, that makes a huge difference to the security of the world.
So I had a good relationship with Putin, despite the Russia hoax that lasted for over 2 years. Just a hoax created by Hillary Clinton and Adam Shifty Schiff, some just bad people, just sick people, frankly. I mean, Schiff is a sick person. He's going to end up probably being a senator. It's hard to believe. The whole thing is hard to believe. But, they put our country in danger with that stuff, too. They actually, when they make up stories, and you have to fight your way out of it for a long time. But I know Putin very well. I got along with him very well. He respected me, and it's just one of those things. And we would talk a lot about Ukraine. It was the apple of his eye. But I said, don't ever do it. Don't ever do it. I shut down Nord Stream 2. That was the big oil pipeline, the biggest pipeline in the world going all over Europe. I shut it down. Biden came, and then they say,
Yeah.
I loved Russia. I was a friend of Putin, and I loved Russia. No, he actually said to me one time, he said, if you're my friend, I'd hate to see you as an enemy. I shut down his pipeline, the biggest pipeline. They were looking at that
Yeah.
to fund, and this pathetic president gets in there. And the first thing he did, one of the early things he did, is he shut down Keystone XL pipeline, which is our pipeline that would have employed 48,000 people, pipeline workers, shuts it down. That was, a massive job that Obama refused to allow.
Yeah.
I allowed it in my first week because it was jobs and it moved oil. And by the way, in a much more environmentally friendly way. It's underground. It's not a truck that catches on fire or a train that catches on fire. But think of it. He shut down the XL pipeline, the Keystone XL pipeline.
Yeah.
He shuts that down, and he approves the Russian pipeline.
Yeah, it doesn't make any
Right?
sense. It's like, it's inconsistent. Certainly, but I mean, I think it's just worth emphasizing, to listeners, the immense importance of whether the United States president is intimidating or not intimidating, and how much that matters to global security, because there's some real tough characters out there, and if they don't think the American president is tough, they will do what they want to do.
I know every one of
and
them.
that puts it puts the
Yeah.
whole world in danger.
Elon, I know every one
It's
of
a
them,
big
and I know
deal.
them well. I know Putin.
Yeah.
I know President Xi. I know Kim Jong-un of North Korea. I know every one of them. And let me tell you, people will say, oh, this is terrible. He said, I'm not saying anything good or bad. They're at the top of their game. They're tough. They're smart. They're vicious. And they're going to protect their country, whether they love their country. They probably do. It's just a different form of love, but they're going to protect their country. But these
Yeah.
are tough people at the top of their game. And when they see a Kamala or when they see Biden, Sleepy Joe, they can't even believe it. They can't believe this happened. All the stuff that you're seeing now, all the horror that you look at Israel, they're all waiting for an attack from Iran. Iran would not be attacking, believe me. When I was there, and I say it with respect because I think we would have been good with Iran. I don't want to do anything bad to Iran, but they knew not to mess around. Iran was broke because I told China, if you buy from Iran oil, it's all about the oil. That's where the money is. But if you buy oil from Iran, you're not going to do any business with the United States. And I meant it. And they said, we'll pass.
Yeah.
They didn't buy oil. Other countries, likewise.
Sure.
You want to buy, you're not doing business with the United States. And they were at a point where they had no money for Hamas. They had no money for Hezbollah. They had no money for any of these instruments of terror. And it was amazing. In fact, there were articles when I was leaving, which is hard to believe, actually, especially when you look at what's happened to our country. Our country is so bad right now. It's such a different place. We were respected. Think of it. 4 years ago, we were so respected to a point where when I said don't buy oil, they didn't buy oil. But they had no money,
Yeah.
and Israel would have never been attacked. Zero chance. And again, I said to Vladimir Putin, I say, don't do it. You can't do it, Vladimir. You do it, it's going to be a bad day. You cannot do it. And I told him things that what I do. And he said, no way. And I said, way. And you know, it's the last time we ever had the conversation. He would never have done. I got along well with him. I hope to get along well with him again. You know, getting along well with them is a good thing, not a bad thing. I got along well with Kim Jong-un. When I met with President Obama just before entering, you know, it's a sort of a ritual. And I sat down with him and we talked. It was supposed to be for a very short period of time. It turned out to be a long period of time. I said, what's the biggest problem? He said, North Korea. I had that problem worked out very quickly. It was nasty at the beginning with Rocket Man and, you know, all the different things.
Yeah.
But all of a sudden I got a call.
Those were some epic tweets, by the way.
Yeah, they
Those
were. No,
like
they were epic everything. He said that he has a red button on his desk. I said, I have a red button on my desk too, but my red button is much bigger and my red button works. And then I called him Little Rocket Man of Little Rocket Man. Anyway, here's the bottom line. All of a sudden I got a call from him. And they said they want to meet. They want to meet me. And we met, as you remember, we met in Singapore. We met also in Vietnam. And I got along with them great. We were in no danger. But President Obama thought we were going to end up in a war, a nuclear war with him. And let me tell you, he's got a lot of nuclear stuff, too.
Exactly.
He's got plenty of nuclear. He can do plenty of damage. So
yes, I mean, it's because, you know, I mean, people like Kim Jong-un, they respond to strength, not weakness.
Well,
and
he and I had a good relationship. Remember I met him and we walked onto his land. Nobody ever walked onto his land before. I walked onto. I wouldn't say. Let's bring up Secret Service again. I wouldn't say they were thrilled when I did that. I walked onto his land, and it was an amazing period. But we were not in danger with him because of me. You know, I always say that we have enemies on the outside and we have enemies on the inside. We have some really bad people in our government and people that are controlling of the people. I mean, I'd mention names, but I really don't want to give them the credit. But we have some really bad, and I say they're more dangerous than Russia and China. If you have a smart president, a president that gets it, we are not in danger from those countries because they need us and they need our help. I mean, we forced Obama, if you think about it, Obama and Biden, and Bush to a certain extent, in all fairness, forced Russia and China together. And if you're a history student, the first thing you learn is you cannot let Russia and China align. But then they also got, if you take a look, Iran, and they have North Korea. That's, you know, they call it the axis of evil. In the old days, you had the axis of evil. Here we have a modern-day axis of evil. These are powerful countries, very heavy nuclear, which is the biggest threat. Yeah. You know, the biggest threat is not global warming, where the ocean's going to rise 1/8 of an inch over the next 400 years. And you'll have more oceanfront property, right? The biggest threat is not that. The biggest threat is nuclear warming, because we have 5 countries now that have significant nuclear power, and we have to not allow anything to happen with stupid people like Biden. You know, Biden did something with Russia. There was no chance of him ever going in. And when I left, and then after I left, they started forming big armies on the border with Ukraine, right? And I looked at that, and I thought he was doing that because Putin's a good negotiator. I thought he was doing that to negotiate. But then Biden started saying such stupid things. For instance, he said that it can be a NATO country. Now, Russia, for as long as there's been NATO, has said we're never going to agree to that. And we go right up front and say that. And we did things and said things through this president with a low IQ, very low IQ. He had a low IQ 30 years ago, by the way, but now he might not even have a IQ at all. There's nothing on the board that goes this low. He said things that were so stupid that war would have been, that war had zero chance of happening if I were there. Zero chance. He was saying everything the opposite. Everything the opposite. And it's so sad because many more people have been killed in Ukraine than you read about. You don't read about how bloody it is and how disastrous. Sure. Hey, look, just in the 2 armies, you lost 500,000. And, you know, Ukraine's having a hard time. Ukraine, I don't know if you saw the article recently, and it's true. You don't hear the true story, but if you think about it, Russia's gone. Russia defeated Germany with us, and they defeated Napoleon. They've been around a long time. They're a big fighting force,
Yeah. So,
and it's
of course.
very unfair. And Ukraine now doesn't have enough men. They're now using young men and very old men to fight, and we're in a very bad position. And I'm not going to blame exclusively, but I can tell you I could have stopped that, and a smart president could have stopped that. It wouldn't have happened. But we had a man that actually made it more prevalent. It was so bad. The words that he was using, the stupid threats coming from a stupid face that he was using. I said, this guy's going to cause us a war. He's going to cause us. And let me tell you, it can lead to World War III. That can lead to World War III. The Middle East can lead to. We have numerous places that could end up in a World War III right now for no reason whatsoever.
No, I think you're right. I think people underrate the risk of World War III, and it's just when you're looking at the risk of global thermonuclear warfare, it's game over for humanity, and it's something that people have, I think, after the end of the Cold War, people have become complacent about, but they actually have forgotten that there are currently a lot of nuclear missiles that have targeting parameters for the United States from
100%.
other countries.
And one of the things we're going to do is we're going to build an Iron Dome over us. Israel has it. We're going to have the best Iron Dome in the world. We need it, and we're going to make it all in the United States. But we're going to have protection, because it just takes one maniac to start something. We're going to have protection, and we're going to have. Why shouldn't we have an Iron Dome? Israel has one. Some other places have one that nobody even knows about, frankly. But Israel has it. We're going to have an Iron Dome. But with all of that being said, to me that's so important, the most important. But with all of that being said, the election's coming up, and the people want to hear about the economy and the fact that they can't buy groceries because they don't have enough money to buy groceries. The inflation has killed them. Food prices are up 50, 60, even 100% in some cases. And this stupid administration allowed this to happen, and it's a shame. And that's the thing that people most care about, in my opinion. They care about the border a lot. And we discussed the border at great length. It's nice to have a forum like this where I can discuss something at length. And by the way, you think Biden could do this interview? Do you think that Kamala could do this interview? They would take a pass on you.
No, they could not.
So they don't need Elon. They don't need Elon screaming out questions. It's pretty sad when you think that somebody that does this for a living can't answer a question or is afraid to do an interview. And in her case, with a very friendly interview, she's got all friendly interviewers. It's pretty sad.
Yes, absolutely.
But the big thing now is the economy, Elon. And as much as I mean, I view nuclear as the single most important thing, but a lot of people don't. A lot of people don't understand that. But it doesn't have to. If I understand it, that's all you need. Because if I was president, you're not going to have that kind of a problem. But the thing that they really is making them angry is what Kamala and Biden have allowed to happen to the economy. It's a disaster with inflation. The inflation, it doesn't matter what you make. The inflation has eaten you alive. If you're a worker or if you're just a middle income person, you can't afford. 4 years ago, 5 years ago, people were saving a lot of money. Today, they're using all their money and borrowing money just to live. It's a horrible thing that's happening. And we'll end that quickly.
Well, I think a lot of people just don't understand where inflation comes from. Inflation comes from government overspending because the checks never bounce when it's written by the government. So if the government spends far more than it brings in, that increases the money supply. And if the money supply increases faster than the rate of goods and services, that's inflation. So really, we need to we need to reduce our government spending. And we need to re-examine. I think we need like a government efficiency commission to say like, hey, where are we spending money that's sensible? Where is it not sensible? Right. And we need to live within our means. We're currently adding, I think, $1 trillion to the deficit roughly every 100 days. That's right. And the interest payments on the national debt have now exceed the defense budget. It's on the order of $1 trillion.
It's interest,
and it keeps growing.
I rebuilt our military, largely rebuilt our military. Did a great job on it, which was so important. We had jets, we had fighters that were and bombers that were 70 years old. And we did a great job in that. Then by the way, we gave 85 billion of it back to Afghanistan, if you can believe it. We gave them 85 billion. They're one of the largest sellers of military equipment in the world. They're selling what we gave them. That was one of the most embarrassing days in the history of our country. But if you think about, let's go back to the economy. We have to bring energy prices down. Energy started it. The price of gasoline. Now your cars don't require too much gasoline, so you have a good, and you do make a great product. I have to say, I have to be honest with you. That doesn't mean everybody should have an electric car, but these are minor details. But your product is incredible. But the gasoline, Elon, is the cost of energy. Not only gasoline, it's the cost of heating your house and cooling your house. That has to come down. It's gone up 100%, 150, and 200%, and that has to come down. When that comes down, and we're going to drill, baby, drill. They stopped drilling, and then they went back to drilling because they went back to the Trump policy. But if they won the day after they get into office, this country will go out of business because they're going to go to an energy policy that's not sustainable, wind and different things. You're not going to have anything. Yeah. And I know you're a big fan of the AI, and I have to say that AI, and this is shocking to me, but AI requires twice the energy that the country already produces for everything. So you're going to have to build. We're going to have to build a lot of energy if our country will be competitive with China, because that's our primary competitor for this on the AI. You're going to need a lot of electricity. You're going to need tremendous electricity, like almost double what we produce now for the whole country, if you can believe it.
Sure. Well, just going, back to this, like this basic thing, which that people try to make it sound complicated, but it's not. But inflation is caused by government overspending. Right. Would you agree that we need to take a look at government spending and have perhaps a government efficiency commission that just tries to make the spending sensible, and so the country lives within its means, just like a person.
The waste is incredible, and nobody negotiates prices. You used to have a lot of people making jets, and you end up with two companies, and they'll probably try and merge at some point. I went through it, like Air Force, just a thing like Air Force One. One of the first documents they asked me to sign, a general walks in, "Sir, would you please sign this document?" And what is it? Air Force One. That's with Boeing, which is basically two planes, two 747s. And the price was $5.7 billion for two planes. Now, now they're highly sophisticated. They're even nicer than your plane, okay? But much more sophisticated. They're very, I won't say what's on it, but they got a lot of stuff on it. Anyway, but it's 5.7.
That's a crazy number.
It's a crazy number. But I said, I'm not going to pay 5.7. I'm not going to do it. I said, who made the deal? Obama and his people. I said, well, then I know the deal's no good. I'm not going to do it. And over a course of about 4 weeks, by my saying I'm not going to do it, I got the price reduced by $1.6 billion for the exact same plane, other than we had a nicer paint job, if you want to know the truth. But for the exact same plane, I saved one. And I said to Boeing, man, you guys must make a lot of money if you can reduce the price by that. But now what I do hear is that they're going back to the Biden administration and wanting big cost overruns, because they see these dopey suckers in there, and they'll end up getting some of the money back. But I shaved it by $1.6 billion for the exact same plane. And you can now take that and multiply that out times thousands of other items.
Multiply it by
the numbers are astronomical.
Yeah.
I agree with you.
Well, I think it would be great to just have a government efficiency commission that takes a look at these things and just ensures that the taxpayer money, the taxpayers' hard-earned money, is spent in a good way. And I'd be happy to help out on such a commission.
I'd love it
if it were formed.
Well, you're the greatest cutter. I look at what you do. You walk in and you just say, you want to quit? They go on strike. I won't mention the name of the company, but they go on strike, and you say, that's okay, you're all gone. You're all gone. So every one of you is gone, and you are the greatest. You would be very good. Oh, you would love it. But, if you look at Argentina...
Well, I'd be happy to help
by the way,
out.
congratulations.
Yeah.
I just looked at the number of people that are listening to you and I chat. We'll call it a chat. But congratulations. This is very good. I mean, it's great. It's and you're an interesting character. You know, the new head of a place called Argentina, and he's a big, you
Malay's
know,
awesome.
he's great, and
Yeah.
he's a big MAGA fan. You know that he ran on MAGA, and he took it to an extreme too. He ran on MAGA, and I hear he's doing really a terrific job. It's called Make Argentina Great Again. It worked out perfectly. He came in, he bought a lot of hats, he brought over, but he's doing a big job. He really cut. And I'm hearing
Yeah.
they're starting to do pretty well. Inflation's getting down. You know, they had like
Yes, exactly.
2,000%. They had inflation like not normal inflation. They had the real deal. But we're going to
Yeah.
have that pretty soon. We have, I think we
Yeah.
have the worst inflation we've had in 100 years. They say it's 48 years. I don't believe it. I think we have the worst. They
Yeah.
don't include a lot of the items that should be included, you know.
Yeah. Well, it's just from government overspending and not spending taxpayer money
Yeah.
effectively, and having just like so many departments you can't even name them all. And what Malay is doing is he's cutting government spending. He's simplifying things. He's having putting in regulations that make sense, and we're Argentina overnight is experiencing a giant improvement
That's right.
in prosperity. But it's also a lesson for the United States, which is that Argentina used to be one of the most prosperous countries in the world.
Right.
In the I think in the 30s, 40s, and because of bad government policy, it ruined the country. And if you take Venezuela, for example, Venezuela should be incredibly prosperous. They have phenomenal reserves of everything, oil, everything, and it should be prosperous. But if the government's wrong, it impoverishes the people. And so I think we should not be complacent in the United States in thinking that and taking our prosperity for granted, because if with bad government policy, we can run the country into the ground. And that's just something people should bear in mind. Don't take prosperity for granted.
Well, think of education. So we're ranked at the bottom of every list of the top 40. We're ranked number 40, number 38. Uh, Norway, Switzerland, Sweden, different countries are ranked good. Actually, China's pretty close to the top. They're a top 6 or 7. But we're ranked at the bottom, almost at the bottom, 38, 39, 40. In other words, horrible. And yet we spend more per pupil than any other country in the world. So we spend more. And what I'm going to do, one of the first acts, and this is where I need an Elon Musk. I need somebody that has a lot of strength and courage and smarts. I want to close up Department of Education, move education back to the states, where
Yeah.
where states like Iowa, where states like Idaho, not every state will do great, because states that basically aren't doing good now. You look at Gavin Newsom, the governor of California. He's terrible. He does a terrible job. So he's not going to do great with education. But of the 50, I would bet that 35 would do great, and 15
Yeah.
of them, or 20 of them, will be as good as Norway. Norway is considered great. You can name them. I mean, they're so good. Some of
Yeah.
these countries are so good. But if you go into some of these really well-run states, we have states that don't know what debt is. We have states that have low taxes, no debt, everybody working. They're really well run.
Sure.
And maybe they have certain advantages in terms of location, in terms of the land or the sun, and the water and the whole thing. There are a lot of advantages that some people have. But if you moved education back to the 50, you'll have some that won't do well, but they'll actually be forced to do better, because it'll be a pretty bad situation. But,
Yeah,
but if you think about it,
yeah.
you'll have some
Yeah,
of
yeah.
these states. I'll bet you'd have 30, 35 states. It'll be much better. And you know what it'll cost? Less than half what it is in Washington. And
Yeah.
these people don't care
Well,
about
yeah.
the students in these, faraway states. And it'd be unbelievable.
Yeah. I think you're making a good point in that if the states have to if each state has to compete against other states, then people will naturally
That's right.
move to states where it's better.
Well, like California, as we said, it's a badly run state. I could go through. I got so many friends that are in those states, even if they're Democrats. I hate to mention certain states, but Illinois is badly run with Pritzker. He's a real loser.
Yeah.
But some of these places are just badly run. But it's almost going to force them to run better, and they won't do it good initially. But you're not going to do worse than you're doing right now. And I would say that
Yeah.
the cost, you would cut your cost by 50 or 60%. And you'd have a little
Yeah, yeah.
monitor. You want to make sure they're teaching English as an example. Give us a
Yeah.
little English, right?
Sure,
Right?
yeah. No, but I mean, to what? Some of these governors are doing so badly. I mean, they got so many people moving out of their state. They should get U-Haul Salesman of the Year award because they're driving so much U-Haul.
It's actually
It's just
amazing.
people moving out.
Isn't it amazing to you as a businessman that they can even survive? Like Illinois, so many people are leaving, and you wonder, how do they survive? I mean, how do they survive?
They can't.
I saw where you left California and you moved to Texas. Texas does a great job. But, I mean, I just wonder, how do these states survive when big businesses, a big oil company just left California, as you know, and they moved to Texas. How do these big states survive when they lose so many businesses and their taxes are already really high? The taxes are among the highest taxes. You almost wonder, how do they continue on? And in many cases, the governors don't do a good job in their crime-ridden places. You wonder, how do they continue to just go on? It's not a good situation.
I think the only thing that's going to force some of these states to change is if they risk bankruptcy and they're not getting bailed out by the federal government.
Right. Well,
That's
you're
the
going
only
to
thing
have
that's going to
that.
get them to change.
You remember the area in California where they had that, where I guess somebody had sticky fingers and they stole a lot of money, and they went into a form of chapter, and it was very nasty for a period of time. But now it's probably the most popular place in all of California. So at some point, something like that may have to happen. But the problem is, you can't penalize people that loan money to the state when you have incompetent people like a Pritzker. Look, the family didn't want him in the family business, and then he ends up being governor of Illinois. So what is he going to be? Is he going to be a great governor? And you have people. I could name every one of them. I got to know every one of these, and some are very good, and some are just horrible.
Well, I think that the larger point here, too, as you're saying, like a lot of people are concerned about the economy, a lot of people are concerned about inflation, and inflation is effectively a tax on people that save money, and for people that are working day to day, it's just a form of taxation, and if we can solve the government spending problem, we'll solve the inflation problem, which means people will have a better standard of living, and that's a really big deal.
Well, the people that got hurt worst are the people that did it the way they were taught to do it all through, their younger life and their young life and their whole life. The people that saved money, and then they got no interest on their money, and inflation destroyed them. And frankly, they were almost better off if they didn't do anything like that. I mean, those people have been absolutely decimated, and we're going to bring those people back and help those people. We've got to get the prices down. When I look at bacon costing 4 or 5 times more than it did a few years ago. When you look at some of the food products in grocery stores, people go, they can't believe it. They used to be able to buy a whole cart, and today, a lot of people just don't have the money. They go in and they can't buy anything. They look at it's sticker shock. They call it sticker shock, right?
I think it really just comes, like I said, I think it just comes down to really, I guess, two things, which is that if you solve government overspending, you solve inflation, which improves living standards of the average person, and then if you deregulate, like have sensible regulations, so because a lot of the regulations are nonsensical and cause the cost to be extreme for no reason, but unless you've got effective deregulation, like Reagan did a great job on deregulation in the 80s, but it's been 40 years since we had anyone really. I mean, during your administration, we made some progress, but I think there's an opportunity to make, I think, radical progress with sensible regulation. And if
Elon,
those two things, those are the big deals.
We set a record. We did more deregulation and more restrictions on all of the different businesses than any other president. Remember, I had the rule for everyone we put in, you have to get rid of 10 or 12. And we did radical cuts on all of that. And a lot of that's being put back by this administration. and we did radical cuts on things that weren't necessary. But we were all set. You know, we had the best economy ever, maybe in the world. And then what happened is COVID came in, and we had to focus on that, and nobody knew what it was. And I always say I got good marks on economy, good marks on military. We knocked out ISIS. We did so many different things. We rebuilt. But, you know, I never got the credit that we really deserved on what we did with COVID. We never got the credit. But we were, if had that not happened, a gift from China, from Wuhan, came in from Wuhan, the Wuhan labs, and I always said it, and it turned out to be right. But had that not happened, we were set to start reducing debt. We were going to reduce taxes further. I gave the largest tax cuts, and we were going to reduce taxes still further for middle-income people, not only businesses. But we did it for businesses because they're the ones that's why we had the great job numbers. But we were set to really start reducing debt. And, you know, we're sitting on the biggest pile of liquid gold anywhere in the world, bigger than Saudi Arabia, bigger than Russia. And we were going to drill, and we were going to make so much money. We were going to supply Europe with oil. I had stopped the Russian pipeline, and we were going to supply them with oil and gas. We were going to make a fortune. And then the COVID came in, and we really had to divert. Then what happened is when they came in, you know, we kept a lot of businesses alive. If I didn't do what we did, we would have had a 1929 type depression. But the problem is when Biden came in, he got trillions of dollars and just started spending it stupidly. You didn't need it anymore. You know, we got over that bad period where everybody was dying and feeling, you know, it was just not a good period. Interestingly, you know, during his administration, many more people died during his administration of COVID than during my administration, and we really got the brunt of it. But people don't realize more people died during his administration than ours. But it diverted us from doing what I wanted to do. But we had the greatest for, you know, almost 3 years. We had the great, and you know that probably better than anybody. So many of your friends said to me, the best years we've ever had in business were during the Trump years. And also said that African American, Hispanic American were so incredible. They were having the best. Asian American women, men, young people without a diploma, young people that graduated from the best colleges, from MIT, from the Wharton School, from all of the great colleges, Harvard. They were doing better, and people without a diploma were doing better, and everybody was happy. And then COVID came, and we had the problem is they spent trillions and trillions of dollars. They wasted. They shouldn't have taken any money, and we wouldn't be having inflation right now, which is killing our country.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I should probably say something about, like, you know, maybe my views on, you know, climate change and oil and gas, because I think it's probably different from what most people would assume. Because my views are actually pretty, I think, moderate in this regard, which is that I don't think we should vilify the oil and gas industry and the people that have worked very hard in those industries to provide the necessary energy to support the economy. And if we were to stop using oil and gas right now, we would all be starving, and the economy would collapse. So it's, you know, I don't think it's right to sort of vilify the oil and gas industry, you know, the world has a certain demand for oil and gas, and it's probably better if the United States provides that than some other countries. And it would help with prosperity in the U.S. And at the same time, obviously, my view is like we do over time want to move to the world a sustainable energy economy, because eventually you do run out of. I mean, you run out of oil and gas. It's not there. It's not infinite. And there is some risk. I think the risk is not as high as you know, a lot of people say it is with respect to global warming. But I think if you just keep increasing the parts per million in the atmosphere long enough, eventually it actually simply gets uncomfortable to breathe. People don't realize this. If you go past 1,000 parts per million of CO2, you start getting headaches and nausea. And so we're now in the sort of 400 range. We're adding, I think, about roughly 2 parts per million per year. So I mean, it still gives us. So what it means is, like, we still have quite a bit of time, but so there's not like we don't need to to rush, and we don't need to, like, stop farmers from farming, or you know uh, prevent people from having steaks, or
Right.
basic stuff like
Right.
that. Like you leave the farmers alone,
I agree.
in
How
my opinion.
crazy is that? Where
I mean,
you have farmers that are not allowed to farm anymore and have to get rid of their cattle, and the whole world is
yeah,
a
that's
little
silly.
crazy. But it's largely taken its lead from us. I do say though, I've heard in terms of the fossil fuel, because even to create your electric car and create the electricity needed for the electric car. Fossil fuel is what really creates that at the generating plants. And, so you sort of can't get away from it at this moment. I mean, someday you might be able to. But I do hear we have anywhere from 100 to 500 years left. Much of it hasn't even been found yet.
Yeah,
But there are tremendous, like Anwar. I got Anwar in Alaska approved. Ronald Reagan couldn't do it. Nobody could do it. Everybody tried. Nobody could do it. I got it approved. The first thing that Biden did was unimprove to get rid of it. He ended
yeah.
it. His secretary went in and she ended it. And what a disgrace. That's Anwar. That's bigger, or they think it could be bigger than Saudi Arabia in Alaska. Could be bigger than Saudi Arabia. But they went in and they terminated it. And I'll get it going very quickly, because not only is it big for Alaska, I mean, you talk about economic development, that for the United States, I mean, that is, they say bigger than Saudi Arabia or the same size, and pure,
Yeah.
really good stuff. And, they end it. So I think we have, perhaps hundreds of years left. Nobody really knows. But during that
Yeah.
during that
I mean,
time,
my
something will
estimate.
come around that will be
Yeah.
very good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, my estimate would be, a little more aggressive than that, but it's not the sort of like we're all going to die in 5 years stuff. That's obviously BS. But I mean, my view is, like, if you just look at sort of the parts per million that increments every year, you get sort of 2 or 3 parts per million every year of CO2. Uh, I mean, I think some of that, it's problematic if it accelerates, if you start going from two or
Right.
three to, say, five. And then there may be some situations where you get just a step change increase in the CO2. And I think we don't want to get too close to 1,000 ppm, because, like, that's actually makes it uncomfortable to breathe. Like, just existing in 1,000 ppm CO2 is uncomfortable. That's like that's considered like an industrial hazard.
Right.
Just so it's that's actually, you start getting headaches and stuff. So it's even without global warming, it's not comfortable to live. So you don't want to get too close to that. But I mean, I think I think we want to just move over, and, like, and if I don't know, 50 to 100 years from now, we're I don't know, mostly sustainable. I think that'll probably be okay. So it's not like the house is on fire immediately, but I think it is something we need to move towards. And on balance, it's probably better to move there faster than slower. But like I said, without vilifying the oil and gas industry, and without causing hardship in the short term, I think this can be done. Without, people can still have, a stake, and they can still drive gasoline
Sure.
cars, and this, it's okay. It's like, it's not. I don't think we should vilify people for it, but I think we should just generally lean in the direction of sustainability. And I actually think solar is going to be a majority of Earth's energy generation in the future, and it's certainly trending that way. And so you get the solar power, combine that with batteries, so because obviously the sun doesn't shine at night, and then you use that to charge the electric cars, and you have a long-term sustainable solution. And that's what Tesla's trying to move things towards, and I think we've made a lot of progress in that regard. But when you look at our cars, we don't believe that environmentalism, that caring about the environment should mean that you have to suffer. So we make sure that our cars are beautiful, that they drive well, that they're fast, they're sexy. I mean, they're cool. In fact, literally, I mean, the sexy joke, Model S, Model 3, Model X, and Y spells out sexy. It's probably the most expensive joke out there. But I don't know, I like cheesy humor. So, but I'm a big fan of, like, let's have an inspiring future, and let's
Yeah.
work towards a better future. and we do so without demonizing
Right.
people.
I'm okay.
You know.
It's very interesting. You use the word global warming, and today they use the word climate change because you have some places that go up, and so they were getting themselves in a little trouble with the word global warming because not every place is warming. Some places are going the opposite direction. But I'm sort of waiting for you to come up with solar panels on the roofs of your cars and on the trunks of the cars, and it just seems like something that at some point you will come up with. I'm sure you'll be the first, but it would seem that a solar panel on the roofs, on flat surfaces, on certain surfaces might be good.
Yeah.
At least in certain areas of the country where you have the world
Sure.
where you have the sun. But I would think, and I have no idea because that's not my world, but I would think that this would be something that would be interesting. But the one thing that I don't understand is that people talk about global warming or they talk about climate change, but they never talk about nuclear warming. And to me,
Sure.
that's an immediate problem. Because you have, as I said, 5 countries where you have major nuclear, and probably some others are getting there, and that's very dangerous. That's where you need a strong American president because you don't want to have this proliferation. But you have 5 countries and getting more. China is much less than us right now, but they're going to catch us sooner than people think. They're way lower. Russia and us are number 1, and I mean, we're sort of tied. And China is far behind, but they're developing at a level that, you're not surprised to hear very fast. They'll end up catching up, maybe even surpassing. But to me, the biggest problem is not climate change. It's not, and everything's, a problem, but it's degrees. To me, the big problem is the nuclear power. The power of nuclear is so great. And when I talk about I'll prevent World War III, I will. But the truth is that you have to, because this is no longer army tanks going back and forth and shooting at each other. This is a level of destruction and power that nobody's ever seen before.
Yep.
Yeah, and actually, there's a bad side of nuclear, which is a nuclear war, very bad side. But there's also, I think, nuclear electricity generation is underrated.
You're right.
And it's actually, people have this fear of nuclear electricity generation, but it's actually one of the safest forms of electricity generation. It's just a huge misunderstanding. And if you look at the injuries and deaths, caused by, say, I mean, I'm not going to try to pick on coal mining, but just any kind of mining operation. And there's a certain number of injuries and deaths per year. And you compare that to nuclear. Nuclear is actually way better. So it's underrated as an electricity source, and I think it's something that's worth reconsidering. But there's so much regulation that people can't get it done. So that
maybe they'll have to change the name. The name is it's a rough name. There are some areas like when you see what happened in
bad branding.
Right, we'll have to rebrand it. We'll have to give it a good name. We'll name it after you or something. No, it has a branding problem. When you see what happened,
it does have a branding problem.
When you see what happened in Japan, where they say you won't be able to go on the land for about 3,000 years. Did you ever see that? And in Russia, where they had the problem, where they, there's a lot of bad things happened, and they have a problem. And they say that in 2,000 years, people will start to occupy the land again. You realize it's pretty bad.
No, that's not true.
But you're right about it. It's amazing.
It's actually not that bad. So like after Fukushima happened in Japan, like people were asking me in California, are we worried about like a nuclear cloud coming from Japan? I'm like, no, that's crazy. It's not even dangerous in Fukushima. I actually flew there and ate locally grown vegetables on TV to prove it.
Wow.
And I donated a solar water treatment, a solar powered system for a water treatment plant. And
but you haven't been feeling so well lately, and I'm worried about it.
No, but I mean,
I'm only kidding.
It's fine, It's like Hiroshima and Nagasaki were bombed, but now they're like full cities again. So it's really not something that
That's great.
So it's not as scary as people think, basically. But let's see. I mean, are there some other topics we should touch on? Like lawfare. I think we need to be concerned about
what they've done to this country.
Obviously, yeah.
Well, we just won the big case in Florida. This was a Biden administration did something that's never been done in this country, and that's go after their political opponent, me, with this nonsense and just nonsense. In the big case in Florida, we won, but they always pick a judge and a jury, and they use the local DAs, they use the local attorney generals, like Fani, Fani, spelled Fani, Fani, and it's all a big hoax, and it's all run from there. Like in Manhattan, one of the top people from the Justice Department went in, ran Manhattan, ran the state. The Letitia James deal was run by a person from the Department of Justice, Biden. They've never done this before, and they set up a very bad precedent. It's called lawfare, warfare. It's a terrible thing, and never happened in our country. It does happen in banana republics and third world countries, but it's never happened. And the incredible thing is it actually drove my numbers up because people see, fortunately I have a platform like you, or, in all fairness, like a conversation like this where I can talk about it and people understand. I mean, you fight for election integrity and you end up getting indicted because you're fighting for election integrity. And when the day comes that you can't fight for election integrity, you don't have a country anymore. So what happens is they went after their political opponent, me. Now Biden's, close to vegetable stage, in my opinion. Okay, I looked at him today on the beach, and I said, why would anybody allow him? The guy could barely walk. Why would anybody allow him? Does he have a political advisor that thinks this looks good? He thinks this looks good because it looks so bad, and it's ridiculous. I mean, and he's been doing that for a long time. He can't lift the chair. The chair weighs about 3 ounces. It's meant for children and old people to lift, and he can't lift it. The whole thing is crazy.
Well, he's clearly not, he's clearly like, we just don't have a president. Right?
You don't have a president, and she's going to be worse than him because she is a San Francisco liberal who destroyed San Francisco, and then as Attorney General, she destroyed California. You talk about location, and we're talking about the sun and the water and all. There's nothing better than California. She has destroyed that. She was the original DA. She was the original in San Francisco. She was the original Attorney General in California. What she has done to California is, well, you know better than I do. You just left California for a lot of those reasons. And what she's done with crime, with cashless bail, where you kill somebody. I mean, we have states there you kill somebody and they let you out right away. I mean, you don't have to even put up, and then they never find the people unless they kill again, and then they let them out again. Our country is becoming a very dangerous place, and she is a radical left San Francisco liberal, and now she's trying to protect. Now she's looking like she wants to be more Trump than Trump, if that's possible. I don't think it's possible, but she wants to be more Trump than Trump.
Yeah.
I want a wall.
I think that's...
She wants to release all the prisoners that are in detention, and some of these guys are really bad.
Right.
That just came out today. She doesn't want to build the wall, even though the walls work. Walls and wheels. In your business, everything you do is obsolete, almost, well, not the tunnels, but everything is obsolete. Even your rocket ships, they're like a month later, they're obsolete. You find a better way to... The only thing that's not obsolete is a wall and a wheel. And the wall, I built hundreds of miles of wall, and that's why we had such good numbers. I was going to add 200 miles. We bought it. We could have flipped it up in 3 weeks, and they sold it for 5 cents on the dollar. That meant, I said, wow, that means that they actually do want to have open borders. She wants to have open borders, and now she's going like she's tough on the border. It's such a lie.
Yeah, this is simply not true. This is simply not true.
And everybody knows it's not true. It's a disgrace that she can say it.
No, obviously, what's happening sort of overnight is they're rewriting history and making Kamala sound like a moderate when in fact she is far left, like far left.
Worse than Bernie Sanders. She is considered more liberal by far than Bernie Sanders. She's a radical left lunatic, and if she's going to be our president, very quickly, you're not going to have a country anymore. And she'll go back to all of the things that she believes in. She believes in defunding the police. She believes in no fracking, zero. Now all of a sudden she's saying, no, I really want to see fracking. If they got in, the day she got in, she'll end fracking. And by the way, if people didn't think that, the lunatics that really believe in that, uh, they won't vote for her. Like the
Yeah.
Palestinians and Israel. She is so anti-Israel, and she's bad for both. Biden actually did something that was impossible. Both sides hate him. Both sides. That was a hard
Yeah.
thing to do. Unification.
Yeah, no, no. Netanyahu came to give a talk to a joint Senate and House sitting, and I was there, and Kamala stood him up. What does that say?
I think
Um,
it's highly
that's
disrespectful. And I say, if you're a Jewish person or if you believe in Israel, if you're a person that, is a very pro-Israel, if you vote for her, it's worse than Biden. And Biden was bad. But if you vote for her, you ought to have your head examined. And you see tonight, I mean, as we're doing this, I'm seeing reports coming that they expect an attack tonight or tomorrow from hundreds and maybe thousands of rockets. Their Iron Dome, as they call it, as we all call it, but their shield that they build, that can be swamped. We'll use the term that's
yeah,
appropriate, swamped. But they
yeah.
swamp it by shooting enough missiles. You know this better than anybody. By shooting enough missiles,
So,
they can't defend themselves. They just obliterate the whole
yeah,
place. And that's what some people think they're looking to do. And we have no leadership. There's no respect for the United States of America with these people. And I'm telling you,
yeah,
she'll be worse than him because she's a believer
yeah. No,
in
I
being
think you're right.
radical left, and he wasn't.
I think you're right. I mean, you really, it's important for the public that may be listening to this to look at Kamala's track record, before the last like month, and say, is that a track record you agree with? And I think if you're an independent moderate, you definitely would not agree with it, because it is her behavior has been far left, and we're seeing just an overnight propaganda attempt to rewrite history and make it sound like Kamala's moderate when she in fact is not moderate.
Well,
So
her
I think that,
running mate approved, signed into legislation, tampons in boys' bathrooms. Okay, now
yeah,
that's
yeah,
all I
that's
have
weird.
to hear. Tampons in boys'
That's weird.
bathrooms, and that means she believes
Yeah,
in that too. I mean,
yeah,
she
that's
she
not
picked this
okay.
guy because he was the closest to her. A lot of people thought she'd pick sort of the opposite, but she picked an anti-Israel, radical left person. But she is far worse, they say, than Bernie Sanders. If we have her as a president, if we have a Democrat at this moment as the president, I don't think our country can survive.
I think it's a massive. I think we're in massive trouble, frankly, with the Kamala administration, and that's my honest opinion. And I think really it's essential that you win for the good of the country this election, and I mean I'm just stating my opinion. Now you may have seen this, but I got a letter from the EU Commission, like saying, to not have disinformation on the like during this discussion that we're having, like, and there's a lot of attempts to do censorship and to force censorship even on Americans from other countries, and what do you think about that?
Well, I know the European Union very well. They take great advantage of the United States in trade, as you know. We, through a different forum, NATO, we protect them. And yet, if you build a car in the United States, you can't sell it in Europe. You just can't sell it. It's impossible. The same thing with our farmers. Our farmers find it very difficult to do business. We have a deficit with them of $250 billion, which people don't know. It sounds so nice, the European Union, but let me tell you, they're not as tough as China, but they're bad. And I let them know it. And that's probably why they notified you. No, they don't treat our country well. We defend them, with Ukraine. So we're in for 250 billion, and they're in for about 71 billion, and they have the same size. If you add up the European nations that in terms of an economy, it's about the same size. When you say as us, and they're in,
Yeah,
and they're in much greater risk. They're right there. We have an ocean separating us from. In this case, the enemy would be Russia. It used to be for the
yeah,
Soviet Union, but let's assume they're close enough. And what happens is they're in for 70 something million. I think even less than that. billion, and we're in for about 250 billion, and it could be a lot higher than that. And I say, why aren't you going to equalize? Why aren't they paying what we're paying? And they're in much more, it's much more important for them because of the fact that, they're right near there. I mean, they're all sort of in that location. We're not. But they should, and I did it with NATO. There were only 7 countries that were paid up in NATO out of 28 at the time. And the United States the United States was subsidizing NATO, tremendously subsidizing NATO. And I went in and I said, you got to pay up. If you don't pay up, we're not going to defend you any longer. I took a lot of heat. But you know what happened? Billions and billions of dollars came flowing in. And
I think a lot of the public isn't aware of the fact that the United States pays a disproportionate share of the NATO expenses.
And then we get taken advantage of on trade. So think of that.
Yeah, well, I mean, the point of NATO is defending Europe, and it's it's like, then okay, well, why is the United States paying disproportionately more to defend Europe than Europe? That doesn't make sense. That's unfair, and that is an appropriate thing to address.
Well, when you talk about cost cutting and savings and everything else, I mean, honestly, look, there's nobody that feels worse about the Ukraine situation than I do, because I know it would have never happened. I know Zelensky. He was very honorable to me, because when they went with the Russia hoax and they said I had a phone call with him, he said it was a perfect phone call. It was a great phone call. He could have grandstanded and, said, oh, he was very threatening. He said, no, it was a very nice phone call. I called him up to congratulate him on his win, and you end up getting impeached because these people are lunatics. I was talking about the difference from the people within and the enemies on the outside. In many cases, the people from within are more dangerous for our country than the Russias and the Chinas. If you have a smart president, you're not going to have a problem with them. You're going to do things.
Yeah.
Now, they've taken advantage of
absolutely.
us incredibly, but you're going to do things with the right person.
Yeah, well, I think it's obvious that you're a believer and an advocate of free speech, because during your first term as president, you were attacked relentlessly every day, often very unfairly with false attacks, and you didn't try to shut down the media. You didn't try to inhibit their freedom of speech, and I think that says a lot.
Well, the good thing is that you and I have, and some people, very few, we can get the word out. Although sometimes it's hard because they don't want to print it, like we're having a great conversation right now. Kamala wouldn't have this conversation. She can't, because she's not smart. She's not a smart person, by the way. She can't have this conversation. And Biden, we don't even have to talk about it. I mean, he couldn't have this conversation. He would have given up on the first half of a question. He would have walked out. He would have said, where am I? Where am I going? So anyway, but no, he wouldn't have this.
That's true.
Not a lot of people would have this conversation, but we cover a lot of territory. But the beauty is that we can have a conversation, and I'm able to get it out because I get treated unfairly.
This is a really big point. You can actually have a conversation with you.
Yeah, it's nice, isn't it?
And you can't have a conversation with Biden or Kamala. It's like it's not possible.
Yes.
So this is like talking to an NPC. No. So it's just impossible.
Well, but think of it. We need a man or person who's unbelievably sharp in order to stop all the nuclear danger and all the dangers that I'm talking about. And I got along with all these. I got along with Kim Jong-un. We had dinner. We had everything. And he really liked me, and I got along with him really well. By the way, he's the absolute boss over there. A lot of people said, oh, do you think he will?
That's
Let
me
tell you, I saw things that you don't want to know about. He is the boss. But we had a good relationship, and he doesn't like Biden. He considers him a stupid man, he said. He's a stupid man. Well, at least he speaks his mind. But, in this country, you're not sort of allowed to say it, but I guess you are. You should be allowed to say it. Yeah. It's true. But we need smart people, and we need people that have an ability to lead. And she doesn't have that ability. Can you imagine? Now, Chairman Xi very well. Can you imagine her and him negotiating, or even standing together? It is, the whole concept is ridiculous. She is terrible. She's terrible. But she's getting a free ride. I saw a picture of her on Time Magazine today. She looks like the most beautiful actress ever to live. It was a drawing. And actually, she looked very much like our great First Lady, Melania. She didn't look.
Yeah.
She didn't look like Camilla. That's right. But of course, she's a beautiful woman. So we'll leave it at that, right?
Yeah, well, maybe like I think part of what people in America want to, people in America want to feel excited and inspired about the future. They want to feel like the
It's
future is
true.
going to be better than the past, and that America is going to do things that are greater than we've done in the past, reach
Right.
new heights that make you proud to be an American, and excited about the future.
They want the
I
American
think
dream
this,
back. They want the American dream back. More important than anything else. It's like you don't have that today because the people they've been just sucked. They see incompetent people running our. You know, the Biden thing is very interesting. People just found him to be incompetent, and when I debated him, I was like, "Is this for real?" It was.
Yeah, it was just absurd. But I think there are like some grand projects that we could do. I mean, I think like we could build a base on the moon. We could send American astronauts to Mars. We
Right.
could build high speed
Yep.
connections that are more advanced than anything else in the world between our cities, so people have fast transport. Um, it's possible to solve traffic with tunnels.
That's right.
We already made great progress in Vegas doing that, and and just do things that are exciting and inspiring and make the future feel like it's better than the past.
Well, I saw
And
what you
like,
did in Vegas, and I'll tell you, it was amazing. I got to see, I took a big glimpse at it, and it's incredible. It's incredible. And you could do that all over. You could do that all over. It's deep.
yeah,
You don't even need much structure, assuming you're in the right area.
no, it's straightforward.
It's amazing.
So like I think we could do some things that like China's got incredible high speed rail between its cities, but I think it's actually possible with tunnels if with deregulation with an ability to actually where it's like legal to actually do the tunnels. Then you could have high speed tunnels that are actually better than anything else in the world for high speed transport between cities, and that would be something that Americans can say, "Wow, okay, we've got something that's cooler than anyone else in the
Yeah.
world." That's the kind of thing that makes you proud to be an
And
American.
much safer than surface trains, where there is a danger there, with people, with crazy
Yeah,
people. It's much safer, much better. And, it's sad because I've seen some of the greatest trains. I find it fascinating. And I've seen the systems and how they work, and the bullet trains, they call them, I guess. And
yeah,
they go unbelievably fast, unbelievably comfortable, with no problems. And we don't have anything like that in this country, not even close. And
yeah,
it doesn't make sense that we don't. Doesn't make sense.
yeah. And I think also like there's I'm kind of hopping on the excess regulation, but I think something that like I think people can generally understand is that what happens with laws and regulations is that there's more and more of them every year, and unless there's a process to clean them up, eventually everything becomes
You're right.
illegal, and that actually it slows down the development of new technologies. I mean, if you take sort of like I think there's room for some reform at the FDA for
Yeah.
improving the speed with which we approve drugs that could help save lives and improve people's
Yeah.
lives. And
I worked very hard on that. We
that,
got that down
yeah,
to the lowest number ever, and we got therapeutics approved in the FDA that people can't even believe the speed. But I took them on. I don't think they like me too much, but I got things approved in the FDA at numbers that they wouldn't believe. And it's a very bureaucratic group. Actually, it's a fine group of people in many cases. I got to know a lot of them, but I was pushing them really hard for Regeneron, for so many different things that were really pretty amazing. But the FDA takes too long. It's 12 years to get a product approved. I got it down to 4, and I
yeah.
got some things done very quickly. But it's really something that is going to have to be worked on because it takes too long. Just takes too long.
Yeah, it just takes too long, and it's you end up in the same with the approval, but it just it takes years instead of something that I think could potentially take months, and that improves people's lives.
Yeah.
I think I just wanted to hop on this point that like there has to be an active process for reducing rules and regulations, because otherwise they just keep building up every year, and you get like hardening of the arteries, and eventually everything's illegal or takes forever. and then we just ossify as a society. We can't make any progress, and it's a really big
Well,
deal.
Elon, just
So
getting back to the FDA for 1 second, I got something done called Right to Try. This is where you can go in and, if you're terminally ill, you can use a space age, medicine or whatever it may be. We have the best doctors, the best labs in the world. We really do. And but people would go to other countries because you couldn't use the product, even if they thought it worked, because it's going through the FDA. I got it approved
yeah,
where you can,
yeah,
you basically, you look, nobody wanted, the doctors didn't want it because of the liability. The country didn't want it, our country, because they didn't want to get sued. These are people terminally ill. The insurance companies didn't want it, and the pharmaceutical companies, nobody wanted it. I got everybody into a room, and we came up with an agreement that you won't get sued. And also, they didn't want it on their record. If somebody's terminally ill and they die after taking a drug, they didn't want that on their record. So we set a separate list. If somebody was, so it wouldn't count as a negative.
yeah,
Okay. And as you know, we got it
yeah,
done. We have saved Right to Try. They've been trying to get this done for 58
yeah.
years, and it sounds simple, but it wasn't, because the insurance companies, nobody wanted it, but we got it done.
Sure.
Somebody signs, you sign a document that you're not going to sue the insurance companies, the country, you're not going to sue anybody, and we got it done, and we're saving tens of thousands of lives. Right to Try. Hopefully, you never need it, but if you
Yeah.
do, you don't have to travel to Asia. People,
Right.
if they had money, they go to Asia,
Yeah.
they go
Sure.
to Europe. If they don't have money, they go home and die. That's what happened. They'd go home and die.
Yeah. Well, I mean, and actually, to give Europe some props here, it's like if a drug is approved in Europe, which has a crazy amount of regulations, it should obviously be approved in the U.S.
Yeah.
I mean, they got more regulations than we do. So why would a drug be approved in Europe and not in the U.S.? That's crazy.
Well, we did it. We did something that really, they've been trying to do it for 50 years, and they just couldn't get it done, and I got it done. And it's really something. But you're right. Some people go to Europe because a drug isn't approved here, but it's approved in Europe, and it's a drug that, generally speaking, would
Yeah.
work. It's pretty crazy. So
Absolutely.
you're right.
And I think so, as long as people are properly informed of the pros and cons, and like these are the risks, these are this is the risk, and like you make your own decision. That makes sense.
Well, I think just,
So
in sort of closing up, and by the way, I'm looking at the numbers. You got a lot of people listening. I hope you don't get
yeah,
nervous, because you got a lot of people listening to you right now, like 60 million or something. What is that number? It's crazy. It's amazing how you can see that right away. How many? What is the number? Wow. What is it?
Thank you, Marianne.
well,
Wow.
I think in
Wow,
terms of people
that's bigger than you said. You said 25, and you're much more than double that number, 25 million. I think you're going to be 60 or 70. And I guess over a period of time, hey, I congratulate you. Do I get paid for this or not?
He proceeds to tell me that I am not affectionate whatsoever. I never give him affection. For the last 3 months, he has been gaslighting me, telling me things that are like, I don't even know.
What does that even mean? What is gaslighting?
That's exactly what he says. He doesn't know what it means either. Relationship, and he's like, yeah, so you need to make arrangements because you're using me. And I'm like, okay, I will make arrangements. I have to move into my car. If I could have made arrangements, I would have made arrangements.
Okay.
I have to move into my car. Okay.
Do me a favor, turn around, put your hands palm to palm, just like that. There you go.
We've all experienced manipulation at some point in our lives, and that's exactly what happened in this case. Officers were called to a home where a young woman appeared extremely distressed, crying and stating that her boyfriend had assaulted her and was begging her to leave his home. However, when officers arrived, they soon discovered that the young woman who made the call was more like the suspect than the victim.
Where is the gentleman that is responsible for this?
He's inside. He was just out here trying to ask me for his key. I said we'll wait for the police to get here because it's the only way I can let you guys in.
Hold on.
He let my cats out.
Who is he? Who is he to you?
He's my boyfriend. I've been dating him for about a year and a half.
So they're pinning somebody to the ground here.
Me.
Oh, they were pinning you to the
He
ground.
was dating me.
Oh,
Who called the police? You
I
called
called
the
the
police?
police. Yes, I had my phone in my hand. He was trying to take my phone from my hand. He was trying to take my phone from over here, and I was running from him. And so I was trying to call the police, but I think it was on Wi-Fi and it wasn't going through.
Where is he at?
Okay, what was the argument about? Why was he trying to take your phone?
Because I threw his phone.
Okay.
I threw his phone and I picked up his phone thinking it was my phone. They look identical. I picked it up and I threw it to the side and it got into a bath that I was cleaning his hair with. And so he came out to try to get my phone from me. Yeah, he was not wearing this shirt before.
Right,
he was actually,
Step on.
so I kicked him.
Is there
to get him off.
is there a way to, if this door were to close, how do you get back into the? I figured.
Yeah, right here.
There you go. I need both of you to step out. Step out.
This close.
You can hold it. Okay.
Yep.
Okay. You can go talk to my partner.
Sometimes as well. And,
So what seems to be why are we here? Why
are we here?
be?
I think we're here for a combination of things. I think she's just very unhappy in her life, and I let her stay here because she had nowhere to live.
Who is she to you?
My girlfriend.
How long have you guys been together?
Not too long.
What's not too long?
A couple months. So basically, what
2
happened,
months, 3 months, 6 months.
a couple,
I need a number.
not very stable.
Okay.
Not very stable. So she
Okay.
seems to be very just unhappy in her life,
Okay.
just miserable, like not making money where she works and all that. And
Okay.
I'm super accommodating to her, very nice, trying to help her out, trying to put her up, trying to get her jobs and all that stuff. So she's just unhappy, dude. I don't know. She's hot and cold. So all I try to do is be nice to her, and you could ask her that, but she flies off the handle. So I just told her, look, what would you like to do? This relationship ain't really going anywhere. I said, would you like me to pay for you to fly back to California and you can kind of regroup? You know what I'm saying? I tried to give her options. So I said, this relationship sucks. You know what I mean? Like, it sucks. The energy sucks. You're always in a bad mood. You always have a stomach ache. You know, so it's going nowhere. But this fight has been progressing for a while. You know? Okay. So I told her today, hey, look, last night you said basically like you feel stuck. So this morning we woke up and I started to talk to her and I said, hey, so you seem like you're stuck. What can we do? And I said, it's like you're here using me. You know what I'm saying? You're here using me when there's nothing happening. We're not having sex. There's nothing happening here. There's just two people existing together. Mm-hmm. So I said, look, I want to make a move. You know what I'm saying? Let's make a move. What do you want to do? I'll help you. I'll pay for you to go to California, or I'll help you out somehow. And she went off the handle, destroyed shit in my house, broke things, threw things, kicked me, punched me, fucking went bananas. Just went bananas. Oh, took my phone and fucking sunk it in the water. And I go, yo, where's my phone? I go, why would you take my phone? She goes, fuck you, look for your fucking phone, motherfucker. So I said, oh, give me my phone. And all I did was try to get my phone. That's all I tried to get. I didn't touch her. She kicked me in the face. She said, I heard something explode. And I said, yo, what'd you do with my phone? And she says, I don't know, go fucking look for it. So I had it on the counter. And I was like, so I went to look for it and I couldn't find it. So I thought she had it in her hand. And
do you have Ring cameras there?
Do I have a Ring camera?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I think I do have a Ring camera right there.
Is it available? Will it catch anything that happened inside?
No, it won't catch anything inside.
You said she tore up inside the house? She was destroying your property?
The whole thing. I have a video if you'd like to see it.
Sure, let's see it.
The security footage was redacted from this video because it shows the boyfriend's personal space. However, the footage did show the officers where his girlfriend had damaged his home by throwing cat litter everywhere and damaging his Rolls Royce.
You can't call your phone to see where it is? Nothing?
She took it. Ask her if she took it.
Okay, so explain to me how, so just give me a synopsis of how this whole ordeal. I'm going to tell you what I recall, and you stop me if I'm a little off. So this is a continuation of an argument or a discussion you guys had yesterday in regards to her going back home to California.
It's a long time coming. She's very unhappy with her job. She's not making money. So she's with me, I think, because she can't.
For stability. She's here with you.
Yes. And I only did her a favor. I said you could move in until you get on your feet.
And how long ago was that?
I told you so my brother came into town the 15th or something like that. She had nowhere to live.
The 15th of what?
December.
Okay.
And she had nowhere to live, and she goes, well, I'm going to live in my car. And I go, dude, right now she said she's going to go live in her car. And I said, that's ridiculous.
Okay.
You know?
All right, so that happened yesterday. Today you guys...
No, not that happened. That was, we were only a conversation of talking to her, saying she's always like very like antsy. Her legs always moving. She's called restless leg syndrome. So I said, hey, look, you have a lot of anxiety. are you okay? Would you like to speak about it? And then she said, look, I feel stuck. I'm not making any money. I made $500 last week at work, and I said, how can I help you? You have to remember, I wash your car. I'm a nice, generous dude. I'm a generous ass dude, just generous with all my friends, with everybody. That's just, everybody knows me. I'm super accommodating to her. Let's go to Whole Foods.
Where is she?
In my car. The white stuff.
Where's his phone?
Where's his phone?
Yeah.
I don't know.
Grab your
It
phone.
should be inside.
Is your phone on ringer or something like that? So your phone's on silent. We won't even be able to find your phone even if we...
Ask, did you throw my phone?
I thought you said you found it.
I didn't find it. Why would I try to grab it from you?
Okay, we're just
Okay.
trying to find the phone.
Yeah, no problem.
We're just trying to find the phone. Do you have any idea where the phone might be?
Yeah, it could be in the bath that
In the water?
in the water.
It was not. We just came from the sink. It's not in there. Okay, so do me a favor. Okay, move
over here.
shift on.
So like I said, I picked it up thinking it was my phone. It wasn't. They're identical. I tossed it to the side. So and it literally it hit the glass. It hit the glass. All I heard, and I picked up my phone and I started getting the rest of my stuff. I think I grabbed my purse and then I went to grab my keys to open my car so that I could put my stuff in my car. So I didn't necessarily look to where it went, but I did throw it. That's the initial thing that I did.
And when did that happen?
That happened.
Is that before or after all of this?
That was before this.
So
He
when
did this because of that.
you threw his phone and
And that's why he did this.
so how'd the house get in the state that it's in right now?
That is because we got into an argument and he...
Is that before or after this phone? I need you to give me things in
The
sequential
argument,
order.
Okay. So he started asking me
Yeah, it's in the trunk. Pop the trunk.
what he is getting from this relationship, how he's getting anything from this
No, you could just pop the trunk.
Because I was... Let me just
He
start
has
with that.
what?
He has scabies.
What is that?
That is, they're mites that burrow in your skin, and they're
Okay.
extremely contagious.
Okay.
So just so that you know, all of you guys could be contaminated with scabies if you come into skin-to-skin contact with him.
Gotcha. So he began to ask, what is he getting out of the relationship?
I am like scrubbing his hair. This is something that has bothered me because this is literally my worst nightmare, to get scabies, bed bugs, and head lice. I think that is like, everybody would be scared of bugs crawling in their skin, right?
Okay.
So he tells me this, I'm already upset about it. I'm trying to help him get rid of it. He has dreads. They can live in his dreads. So I'm doing a tea tree treatment in his hair for him. And he's like grabbing on my legs, and I said, can you please just not grab me right now? And he said, what am I getting from this relationship? Can you please tell me what I'm getting from this? If you don't want to be
What do you mean he was grabbing? What do you mean he was
my
grabbing?
leg. He's like, so he's sitting down like this, and he's like grabbing onto my leg as I'm like scrubbing his dreads. You understand? So I'm like elbow deep in this like treatment. He hasn't washed his hair. He says in 3 years, and then he says every once a year or so, and then like he always changes the story. And so I'm like, okay, I'm elbow deep in his hair, and he's sitting there like grabbing my legs, like trying to hold on to me while I'm doing this. And I just said, can you please not grab onto me right now? And yes, I wasn't nice. I wasn't like sweet, like, oh honey, like please don't, like, but I was just like, I'm annoyed a little bit. Like, this is a really serious situation that you're not really taking very seriously right now. So he proceeds to tell me that I am not affectionate whatsoever. I never give him affection. And before this, I had already discussed with him for the last 3 months. He has been gaslighting me, telling me things that are like, I don't even know. This is like I have like...
What does that even mean? What is gaslighting?
That's exactly what he says. He doesn't know what it means either. It's when someone tries to like switch up a story, like kind of like, okay, turn the direction on you and make it like, oh no, but that's what you do. You're doing that. And like always puts it on the other person, but also makes them feel like they're crazy for even bringing it up.
Okay.
Does that make sense?
Kinda. Okay, but carry on. So
this is something that I've been learning of. Like, this is a new thing that I didn't know about it. I recently found out about it because it's happening to me, and now I'm learning about it. And so
the term gaslighting,
yes,
or
the term gaslighting in general. I didn't know what it was either. Like, I didn't know it was a thing. I was just like, I literally thought I was going crazy. I'm like, I'm confused. Like, all the time I'm confused and, like, I don't really know what's going on.
Okay, so
there's...
from this washing of the hair and him holding, you washing his hair, he's holding on to you. You told him to stop. He asked what he's getting out of it because you're not affectionate. You in return explain to him that this is an ongoing, reoccurring thing. And then what ended up happening from there?
And then he's like, yes, it is. And I'm like, okay, so we're not getting anything out of this relationship. And he's like, yeah, so you need to make arrangements because you're using me. And I'm like, okay, I will make arrangements. I have to move into my car. You know, if I could have made arrangements, I would have made arrangements.
Okay.
I have to move into my car. And then so I'm like, okay, I will move out right now. I'm going to move into my car. Don't worry. I'm going to put your hair down and I'm going to move into my car right now. Let's go. Because I won't let you grab onto my leg. Like, and this is something that we are trying to work through, right? Like, it's something that is like, okay, maybe if you go to therapy, like, maybe we can get through this. Maybe if we go to therapy, maybe we can work through this. Like a communication issue. It shouldn't be like an end all, but like it's something that you're supposed to work on. So now it's just, okay, no, I don't want to do this anymore. You haven't given me affection in the last couple of months. So we're done. I'm not getting anything. Move the fuck into your car, right? So I start putting, my cats have been locked in a room for the last month. So I don't want them to
Why
get
is
out
that?
because he doesn't want cat fur anywhere in his house.
Okay.
So I don't want, because I'm already like walking on eggshells here.
Why doesn't he want cat fur in his house?
Because it drives him insane, and that's fine. It's his house.
Says the house is normally like
Spotless.
spotless. Okay.
Spotless.
Gotcha. Okay. Continue.
So then I'm like, okay, in order to keep my cats out of the house, I have to put everything into the hallway, right? I have one individually put it into the hallway. I'm putting it into this wagon, and
where's the wagon now?
the wagon is in the house.
Okay.
It should be in the house.
Carry on.
And then he proceeds to come and keep antagonizing me. I don't know how much of it I have on recording because he kept like stopping the record, you know? He kept like pressing stop record, stop record. I told you not to record me, but it's the only way that I can get evidence of this.
Okay.
So, and this also, I know that this bothers him, so I may have been antagonizing him by doing that, and I understand. I understand that, but
By doing what?
by trying to record what he was saying to me.
Okay.
But it's like the only way that I felt like I have a safety net, you know?
Okay.
Like I felt like that's how I could protect myself. So he is antagonizing me in the way of like, okay, you want to know what the common denominator here is? You're always homeless. You always have something wrong with you. You're never put together. No matter how hard you work, you're always going to be homeless. You're never going to have money. You're the problem here. You're the problem. And that's when I freaked out and I fucking threw my litter box out of the room. And I picked up the litter box and I threw it into the fucking entryway, into my car. You can see it's in my car, just as messy. Because I was being
In the center console, it's a towel. Grab it for me. It's 2 towels. Just grab it you. Hold on to that umbrella. So, in the midst of all this, right? I'd be remiss if I told you that there was some property damage within that house that went beyond the scopes of a kitty litter box. There's a lot of I wouldn't say a lot, but there is substantial damage in there. There's some candles that are broken. There's glass a lot of places. So, in all your recollection, I hate to use his diction, but the common denominator is you taking items from one place to another, and how you were taking those items from one place to another may have been altered by how high your senses were in the event of things. However, we still haven't gotten to this. When did this happen?
Okay, so then, right, so the litter box, that happens. I'm still taking all of my stuff out, Let's see. Okay, so the litter box.
And your phone is in the car right now.
My phone is in the car right now.
And your phone is functional.
It is functional, yes.
And there should be some video or some form of exculpatory evidence that could exonerate or
exonerate
you
me.
of
I'm
any
not trying to
wrongdoing.
exonerate anyone. I'm saying we got into an argument. I would like my belongings back and to get the fuck out of this man's life.
Gotcha.
That is it.
And I'm going to afford you an opportunity to go through your phone, show me any videos you may or may not have, and then we'll take it from there. Okay? All right.
Okay, I have 2 minutes. I only have 2 minutes from today. Let's see, but my phone. When I called you guys.
Okay, it's audio.
This is because he's trying to speak to my mother.
I want to get the fuck away from you.
I'm here.
What are you gonna do? Pay for me to go back to California?
That's what you need, yes. If that's what you need, yes. And then, what am I supposed to do? I entered a relationship at the most horrible time with you. It's horrible. It's horrible. What do you think? You're the only one that feels all this fucking stress all the time? You have nothing to do, so you're mad. If I'm here in the house, you're upset. If I'm not in the house, you're upset. What do you want to do?
What? Do you hear yourself, Ruskin?
I hear myself. What do you want to do?
What do I want to do? Right now, I want to get the fuck away from you.
You want to get the fuck away
Okay, so he says like, just, there's 20 more seconds of this, but just so that you can like get an idea. Yes.
Okay.
He will say all of these things, like, I do this for you, I do this for you. Like, for instance, I let you stay in my house because you don't have a place to go. So I am doing this for you. He would say, I take you out to dinner, right? I take you out to dinner. Things like that. So I stopped allowing him to take me out to dinner, and I went and bought groceries. I started making him dinner. I started doing the things, and I'm like, okay, if he's letting me stay here and taking me to dinner is like him doing the world for me, and me, I'm doing nothing in return, more or less. That's what he's getting from this. It's like, I have nothing to give into this relationship. This is, I have told him about, like, okay, so I told you earlier that we've had issues for a couple months with the whole, like, psychological thing, like me, like, feeling confused, like, why are you twisting things and putting them on me? When I get upset with you, you turn them on me and tell me that.
In this situation, and based on everything that's been said within this brief time that we've been here, even though it has been a lot, there is enough to affect an arrest where you would be the one to be arrested.
Okay.
Now, for the safety of your cats, because I too am a pet owner and they are equivalent to my children, I want to do what's in their best interest. And that you were previously involved in a police case, you have that case number, and that you need the police present so that you can gather your belongings because the court ordered you to do so, and then they will accommodate you as such. Okay? Where's the other cat?
He's in there.
Oh. In the car or in the house?
In the car.
Yes.
So what's happening?
She's going to jail. Anderson, do you have any property on you? Your car keys, your phone?
No.
Where might those items be?
They're in the car.
Your car keys and your phone? Okay. Would you like to take any of those items? Your phone or your car keys?
I didn't here when I get back?
Yes. Okay. Okay, cool. So you're okay with him being in possession of your keys right now? Okay. That's good.
Now we're trying to get first vehicle.
Do me a favor, turn around. Put your hands palm to palm. Just like that. There you go.
The woman was arrested for domestic violence and damage to property. After spending 3 nights in jail, she was quickly released. To make matters worse, she was arrested again after returning and damaging his Rolls-Royce once more. We hope her second arrest served as a lesson, because the third time might not be so forgiving. Anyway, hit the subscribe button.
Just feel so sorry for everybody.
No, I think
it's
we're
going to take a long time to find out who wins, Donald.
Of civilization, and I think we need to take the right path, and I think.
On August 1st, 2022, police pulled over a woman who was reported to possibly be driving under the influence. While the driver remained calm, her girlfriend quickly got upset.
Someone else in the vehicle. It's Victoria. It's my girlfriend. She's
10-4.
You can go in there.
27 on Lindsay. Hi there.
Hi.
How's it going today?
She was trying to take me to the hospital because I had depression.
Okay. All right. Well, where were you coming from?
We're coming from home.
Where's home for you?
Over there.
Okay. Do you have any ID on you by chance?
No, I don't know where my wallet went, so I'm trying to figure that out.
Okay.
Can I come out?
In just a minute, okay? What's your first name?
Victoria.
Okay, so she's giving you a ride to the... Where she... Okay, which hospital?
I don't know.
Okay.
But can I talk to her?
In just a minute. She's talking to that officer real quick. In just a minute, okay?
But can I come out at least because I really need to come out?
No, not yet, okay?
I can't sit in the car. Can I at least sit out there?
Not yet, okay. 29 is going to be on a first name Victoria. Female white, date of birth 11/21 of 2000. 11/21 of 2000. I'm sorry about that. No, I'm sorry about that. And is she like a friend of you or?
My girlfriend.
Girlfriend, okay.
Can I sit outside of the car? I really don't want to be in here.
Not yet, okay. Go ahead.
A lot of mental health issues.
No, I hear you.
Out.
Yeah, if you can step out here.
Can I please step out? Just sit on the sidewalk right here.
Well, what's wrong with the car?
I don't want to be in here. I feel alone. Can I sit outside?
In just a minute, okay?
Please. Please, can I sit outside? Please. I'm just asking to sit right here. Please.
Tampa.
Can I please
You can check open and see cap.
Can I just sit right here?
Yeah, if you want to, that's fine.
That's where I'm trying to sit.
Okay. Just have a seat.
Just trying to take
Just have a seat. Okay. You wanted to sit there, now you can sit there, okay? So which hospital do you normally go to?
I don't know.
You just want to hang out with Victoria here.
Victoria, my name's Ty. What's going on?
I don't want to talk.
Okay.
I don't want to talk.
What's that, Victoria?
I have a lot of mental health issues. I don't want to talk about anything.
Okay. We don't have to talk about anything if you don't want to talk about it, okay?
Can you stand away from me a little bit, please?
Is a foot back okay?
Like to the end of the car.
Oh, like right here. You cool with that?
Just a little bit, yes.
I got it. All right, cool.
What's that from?
This is when I got it. We were just trying to go to the gas station too, but like we were gonna go before she took me to the hospital, but
Okay.
it didn't happen.
Okay.
What was the reason for stopping us? I want to know that.
I just got here.
But can you ask him what the reason was?
And he'll explain that.
Can you ask him right now? Because I'm gonna freak the
Oh, Victoria.
Can you ask him? Can you just ask him one simple question?
From what I know is that you guys were involved with another vehicle about driving behavior. That's all I know right now.
It wasn't our fault.
Okay. What'll happen?
Someone cut us off. She tried to back up to protect us.
So if I could edit this
from getting hit.
Okay.
Because his red car cut us off.
Back. Go back. Back. Victoria. Victoria. You're okay. Okay. Hey, she has a lot of behavior problems.
Yep.
Okay. Just let her calm down.
I need you to step away further.
Victoria, shut up. You're fine.
Please move a little further.
Victoria, you're fine, honey.
Yeah.
It's okay. I was bringing her to the doctor.
I'm gonna move, okay?
Where are you going?
I'm gonna move to the front of the car.
I just gotta go with you though.
Vic,
Okay.
you're okay, honey.
I'll stand over here.
I'm sorry.
That's fine.
The car isn't shut.
What's that?
The car door isn't shut.
Oh, that's my sergeant. He's in his car right now.
Why is the door not shut?
I don't know. Victoria, you said you lost your wallet?
Yes, I don't know where I put it. I think I might have had it at the store, but I don't remember.
What store were you at?
I think it was Holiday.
Okay. Was it here in town, in Chippewa?
Yes, here in
Okay.
Chippewa.
Okay.
But I don't know.
Okay.
But I had it, but I don't remember exactly where it was.
Okay.
Which is irritating because because I had it.
Well, did you buy anything at Holiday or no?
Yes, I bought something else.
So like you used something to pay. Okay.
Yes.
So it's a good chance it could be there.
That was the last place I paid anything at.
Okay. How long ago was that today?
I don't exactly know.
Okay, but sometime during the daytime?
Yes.
Okay.
Well, like recently, but I don't exactly remember.
I got you. So there's a really good chance that it's still there.
Yeah.
Okay. I got you.
Can you tell him not to come closer? I only need one cop near me because he's gonna give me anxiety.
Okay.
Please tell him not to come closer.
He's just okay. He's just standing right there. Just me and you.
One of our phones is coming. I just hung up.
Okay. Why don't you have a seat again, Victoria?
My phone.
Which phone's yours?
It might be plugged into the cord. Can I open the door so I don't hit you?
Well, I'll get it for you. Your phone.
Well, I don't exactly know if it's connected to that black cord, but it should be.
The black cord? Okay.
Yes.
Why don't you have a seat? I'll grab it for you, okay? You okay if I grab it?
Yes.
Your phone? Okay.
Taking this off the pack.
Not connected to the black cord.
Well, then I don't know if...
Okay, we'll find it.
In the back seat then, because I was in the back seat. Can I look?
How about I look for you? Okay.
Because I have no idea if it's back there. But I had it, so that's all I know.
Why do we need it right now?
Because I want to
Well, hey,
distract myself with like TikTok or something.
if you want your phone, you can have your phone.
I've done something.
Where would it be at, Victoria?
I don't remember.
Okay.
It should be in the front or the back, but I had it in the back because I was sitting in the back.
Okay. Do you care if we look real quick?
I don't care.
Okay.
But I stepped on something that really stabbed me in the foot. Yes, it stabbed me.
Hold on. If you just want to hang out by him. So the black ones...
Into the car.
No, I'm not saying that. It's just because my back is
No,
turned.
you can check. You can check. I'm not going to do anything. Trust me.
What color is your phone?
My phone has like sparkles in the back of it.
Got it.
Yeah, I don't have it. So
Okay.
I have toilet paper in my... I have a vape though.
Okay.
So don't worry.
Okay.
Okay, so another one here. Facing stop ground. Doesn't matter if you to left, to right, whichever one you prefer, alright?
Is that a player for a...
Yes, that was the phone. That was all we needed.
Yep, that's all I need. There you go.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Just this way, right? So,
I'm gonna sit
while
on
you're
the
doing
ground.
that shit, you're gonna be looking at this thing, you're gonna be
By the way, she's very clumsy, so...
Oh, okay. What's her name?
Her name's Shauna.
What's that?
Shauna.
Shauna?
My girlfriend.
Oh, okay. Right on.
And I love her so much.
How long have you guys been dating for?
Huh?
How long have you guys been dating for?
Since 2 months actually, almost 3 months.
Nice. Things going well?
Yes.
Good. What does your tattoo say?
My tattoo says, "Don't give up, stay strong to the end," because I suffer from mental health.
Well, what you watching on TikTok there?
I'm watching someone who is transgender, and I'm planning on transitioning, but not yet.
Okay.
And I want to make sure that that cop is not mean to her. Okay?
I got you.
I will get aggressive if that happens.
Okay.
So I just want to make sure that he is okay.
Okay.
I can't even count backwards.
I don't think he's not doing that.
Are you okay, Meg? I love you.
Are you
No, I'm
being
not
nice?
okay.
Just being okay.
I have mental health. I can't help
Shut
it.
up, Victoria.
I told him though.
Shut up.
No, I told him.
I said shut up. Can I? Watching TikTok. Can you give me the bottle of water that's in the car? Yes. Maybe.
I can grab it.
I don't know where it went. It might be down there. You don't know because you kind of drink it all, but
Oh, yeah, I haven't.
Can I open the door?
How about I look? How about I
There's
look? Look at
bananas
that.
on the floor, but yes. Oh wait, it's right there.
Where at?
Right there.
Right back there? Okay. I'll grab it in a bit here, okay? I'll just grab it in a second. Hey, Victoria. You don't have any weapons with you, do you?
No, I
Okay.
have toilet paper in my pocket.
Okay, you just mind just keep your hands out of your pockets
Can
for
I
me?
take this out?
What's it? What is it?
It's toilet paper.
Okay.
And my phone I'll throw in there.
Okay.
I was gonna say, when's the last time you smoked weed? Like recently? Like within, I would say, a couple hours ago? Yeah. So, and that's kind of making a lot more sense out of it.
What's the plan for the rest of the day?
I don't know.
Okay.
I like literally my house is right there around the corner.
Yeah. I know.
Because living in town?
Yeah. Okay. We live down the road.
How long you guys been living there for?
I just moved in.
Very nice.
And then we become dating afterwards. But
okay.
at first we were just friends. And then
Yeah. Evolved. Yeah. Right on.
So here's the thing, though. I'm placing another traffic on there. That's why I'm placing it.
No, Victoria. No.
like within, let's say, a couple hours ago. So and that's kind of making a lot more sense out of it.
What's the plan for the rest of the day?
I don't know.
Okay.
Like literally my house is right there around the corner.
Because you live in town?
Based on what I was seeing,
Okay. We live down the road.
How long you guys been living there for?
I just moved in.
Very nice.
And then we become dating afterwards. But
Oh, okay.
at first we were just friends and then
Yeah. Evolved. Yeah, right on.
So here's the thing though, I'm placing on their arrest. That's why I'm placing it on their
afterwards. But
Previously on the Tro Show.
My mom's a sociopathic piece of My mom did not bail me out of jail when she knew I was innocent. What's your talent, you ugly piece of
Security, get him out of here.
Thank God. I am the beautiful vegan messiah.
Is sexy vegan still crazy?
Let's see your talent.
Is
Oh, okay.
at first we were just friends and then
Yeah. Evolved. Yeah, right on.
So here's the thing though, I'm placing on their arrest. That's why I'm placing it on their
No, Victoria. No. Down. Roll her towards you. Down. No.
Get off me!
Don't stretch me.
No! Get off of me!
Don't pinch me either.
Get off me! Get off!
You got her?
Get off! Get off of me! Get off!
I got her.
No!
That's fine.
No!
You're okay. Oh.
Get off!
Don't kick me.
Get off! Get off of me!
No kicking.
No!
There.
Off!
All right.
No! Handcuff me! Get off!
Well, unfortunately, you're now under arrest for battery to law enforcement.
Get off!
I need you to relax, okay?
Get off of me!
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, we're good.
Yeah.
All right. Do you have anything on you at all?
No!
Okay, we're gonna roll you on your side. Do you got these double locks?
Yeah, they're both double locks.
Okay. We're gonna roll you on your side.
Do you?
No!
Yep, to me. There you go. All right. Just remain like that.
Get off!
Okay. Pat her down. I'll search her. Sorry.
She took a bunch of stuff off of her pockets.
That's fine. Don't.
Get off!
All right.
Get off!
Okay. Yeah. Finish up on that side.
Get off of me!
There. Okay.
There's nothing in my fucking pocket!
And that's okay. We just got to make sure, all right? Okay, you just can't be throwing kicks at us and pinching us, okay?
Get off!
I'm not gonna get off your legs until I know you're done kicking at us.
Get off of me!
Okay, what we'll do is we're going to
Get off of me!
bring her
Get
up.
off!
Get her in. Where's your squad?
Get off of me!
On Perry.
All right.
Don't kick. I'm gonna.
Yeah, just bring it over here.
Let go of me!
No.
Let go of me! I'ma fucking kick you!
Well,
Get off!
that's why he's not going to let go of you.
No, let go of me and I'll
We
be
just-
fine!
No.
Just let go!
You've already shown that you're gonna keep kicking. I'm not
No,
letting go.
I will let go of me and
Just
I'll be
relax.
fine. Just let go of me. Get off of me and I'll be
You
fine.
need to take some deep breaths and show us that
You
you're
need
going
to
to
get off
cooperate,
me,
okay?
too. Get off of me and I'll be fine. I'll lay here, but get the off me. Get off of me. Get off.
No, we're going to put you in that squad car.
No.
See?
No.
This is why.
That's
Get
exactly
off
why.
me.
This is why.
I said get off of me.
Okay.
And you guys won't listen.
Because
Get
you keep
off.
doing that. You got to show us some.
Get off.
He has something in her pocket here. She has a second
Get
pair of
off
pants
of
on.
me.
Yeah, she has
A second pair of pants.
It's got it.
Get off of me.
Do you have a second pair of pants on?
It's just twisted in there.
Okay. It was just
Get
twisted.
off of me. Just
Let's take that.
he's still a Smurf?
vegan messiah.
Is sexy vegan still crazy?
Let's see your talent.
Is he still a Smurf? Did he ever get that water?
Get you that water, okay?
All of these questions will be answered today on a brand new episode of Probably.
My appearance on Dr. Phil was a total disaster, a lost opportunity. The way I behaved was wrong.
You need to look at me.
I don't have to do.
Okay, take him out.
He was trying to help me, but I didn't see that at the time.
Yeah, no, are we sure we got the right guy here? Think we have a little bit of a mix-up going on backstage. This is not Sexy Vegan. This has to be his cousin or something. Handsome meat eater. This dude's been on camera for over 10 seconds now. There's been no yelling, no crazy outbursts, and there are way too many f***s being given right now. We got the wrong guy.
I disrespected everyone. I was the
There he is. Behold, the vegan messiah.
The beautiful vegan messiah.
If you're not bowing down right now, then you're not a real vegan. That's just how it works in the Church of Veganism. All right, don't come crying to me when you're burning in vegan hell with all your fast food and delicious steak. You disgust me.
I still love wearing Speedos. However, if you don't want to get arrested, I've learned I'll put something a little more than the Speedo on.
Hey, pal. You just blowing from Stupid Town?
Well, who would have guessed? It turns out you actually can wear your Speedo out in public. You just have to wear something over it. Life hacks with Sexy Vegan. Do you ever have this sudden urge to walk around in public naked, but you just don't want to get in trouble? Well, don't worry. Just put some clothes on over your naked body, you dipshit, and you're good. Now nobody will ever know you're naked underneath your clothes. Life hacks.
With the help of Dr. Sophie, I've learned to ignore haters out in public and negative reaction and to not need outside validation. One of my songs inspired by Dr. Phil, Different Strokes for Different Folks.
Different strokes for different folks.
I said different strokes for different folks.
Ah, yes. If you haven't heard, just a couple months ago, SV dropped possibly the greatest album of our generation. With classic hits like Kissable Cheeks, Lickable Hole, and the delicious butthole of Iggy, this thing has Grammy written all over it. I like to consider SV a modern-day Beethoven. Beethoven created amazing music, and he was actually deaf. So I have no intro today. We're really about to just jump right into this. Today we are checking out Guy Gets Boner with hot physical trainer, girlfriend flips, surprised emoji, sick emoji, about to cry emoji, sad emoji, sweating emoji. Now that's a lot of emojis. I'm really expecting some twists and turns in this video. You're telling me I'm gonna be surprised, sick, about to cry, sad, and sweating? Holy shit, we are in for a ride. Let's do this.
I'll turn it on. It's not even on actually.
Can we guess what?
Yeah, I'll play it.
Okay,
I have to do
now?
the introduction and everything. Do you want to have a seat so we can...
No, I don't.
Putting your boyfriend to the test. Obviously, she's a little upset already. I don't know why. You don't even know if he's cheated or not yet. You gotta give the guy a chance.
All right, let's play it.
I'll play it for you. It's not, honestly, I'll tell you this, it's not as bad as
It's not as bad.
Alright, so we've made it a whole whopping 17 seconds into this video so far, but I cannot tell you a single thing that has happened. Alright, all there's been is a whole lot of yelling, and this bitch seems kinda cranky about the boyfriend that we haven't even seen yet. And by the way, who is editing this video? Alright, how fucking drunk were they? Half the Holy Bible is on screen right now. You really expect me to read this? This is making about as much sense as Oreo Thins. Alright, what's the point of Oreo Thins? Can someone explain that to me? The middle is the best part. What the fuck, Oreos?
Hire a personal trainer to flirt with her boyfriend. He's been going to the gym lately. Obviously been having some trust issues. Trust issues with the boyfriend.
That's good.
Okay, well that was the scariest shit I've ever seen. What the hell was that dramatic stare? Why'd they zoom in so much? Why did they leave that in there, dude? We don't even know if her boyfriend's cheating on her yet, but she just thought of 170 different ways she can kill him and get away with it.
Good. So I like what you're doing there. Would you like me to show you a few tips?
Sure, yeah.
A man's like, yeah, you could show me a few tips, and then maybe later I could show you mine, if you know what I'm saying. Dude, I'm the pickup line master. I don't care what anyone says. If I was there, I'd be getting my dick sucked right now. I'm totally joking, okay? Don't ever use anything I say as a pickup line. It's guaranteed to backfire, for sure.
A few other things that you can do to help target your biceps, abdomen, to work two things at the same time. Do what? Do you want to do the position that I just did to really engage your core? There you go. Yes.
And she's
perfect.
This is cheating.
All right, sit down, Sophia. Calm your ass down. This is not cheating yet. We're just getting started. According to the title, there's a boner coming, so you better prepare yourself, because I'm fucking ready to go.
Did you feel it working in your core?
No, for the workout.
The deeper the better, okay? So go ahead and get behind me.
Like, the boobs are spilling out.
Are you watching?
Do that.
Okay, do you see how low I go? The deeper the better.
Alright, so the girlfriend's getting all mad because the actress out there with her boyfriend keeps bending over and showing off her boobs and whatnot. It's like, bitch, do you know what you signed up for? She's out there doing that to see how your boyfriend would react. We're trying to catch him cheating on you. Like, what did you think the girl was gonna do? Just walk up to your boyfriend and be like, hey, let's fuck. And then your boyfriend be like, okay, let's go fucking fuck. This shit just doesn't add up.
Squeeze and pull up. Do you want to try that? Don't worry, I'm going to coach you all the way through it, big boy. Do you feel the burn? Good. That's good. Oh yeah. That's nice.
Dude, at this point, the girlfriend's not even mad at the dude, but she is ready to fuck this girl up. You better pray to God she never meets up with this girl. Like, that gym girl's buff, but Shaniqua, or whatever the hell this girl's name is so filled with pure anger and rage, nothing will stand in her way from tearing this girl's head off. I'm not 100% sure, but I think she might have actually stuck a finger in her boyfriend's ass somewhere in that last clip. Might have to zoom that one in to check that out further, but either way, the point is, this girl is pissed. Let's move on.
Pay attention to my glutes right here, and really pay attention as I bring them up.
No, I don't see any.
Go ahead and touch them so you can feel them contract, okay?
Oh, there you go.
Yeah.
Jesus Christ, Stephine, what was that noise you just made? Your boyfriend's over here grabbing another girl's ass and you're over here practicing your high notes.
Are you ready, kids?
Aye, aye, Captain!
I can't hear you!
Aye, aye, Captain!
Who lives in a pineapple under the sea?
I wouldn't mind having you touch me. You probably get a lot of girls, don't you? Dang. That's good.
And then she has to also touch it.
You should be feeling right here. Do you feel that?
Do you feel my finger in your ass right now? Do you feel that? Do you feel my cold fingernail slowly crawling towards your asshole? Do you feel that? Yes, I feel that. Please stop. But do you feel it, though? What the fuck, dude? What is taking place here? What is going on? Where's this being recorded at, anyway? It's gotta be some weird-ass place. Probably Virginia. I know one guy from Virginia, and he's a fucking weirdo. So I assume everyone there is like that. Remind me to never go to a gym in Virginia. A girl might accidentally walk by and put a finger in my ass. Whoops.
What are you expecting him to do? I mean,
Well, he can ignore her.
In your glutes right here. Do you feel that?
You can't do this.
Good. Let's go try another machine now. Hey.
Yeah, can I just have a minute just so you know?
Okay. Wow. Okay. Take your time.
watching, well, there's more footage. I mean, I can show you. He didn't send her away if that's what you're thinking.
But he did.
No, he actually just asked for a minute. I think he needed some time to himself. You'll see the mark right here. He got a little excited.
Rodrigo, dude. Fuck. That's a tough one right there. Go ahead and chalk that one up as an L, though. I mean, that's an official L. I hate giving it to you, but I just go by the rules here. I know an L when I see one, and you just fucking took an L. And to be completely honest, that's probably a top 5 L I've ever seen. All right, you just popped a boner stomach down from a finger going in your ass. That's an automatic L. I'm sorry.
Come on, you can do it. Come on. Yes.
What are you
Come on.
doing?
Yes,
Oh
great.
my
Yes.
This is called.
You know, we're just go ahead and remove that past L that he just took. All right, he just redeemed himself. That was sweet as fuck. I know it really wasn't his choice to have that happen to him, but that is a clear dub right there. I don't really hand out many dubs on my channel, but you, sir, just took a dub. Congrats.
Yes.
I mean, even the dude in the background's like, holy shit, what class is that? Where do I sign up? And to be honest, I kind of want to make a road trip over to Virginia really soon if this is what's going on. I mean, yeah, a finger might slip in my ass on accident, but if these kind of girls are just riding you while working out, I'm in.
No, I'll tell you
There's more. It gets better.
Yeah.
Actually, do you film the sex?
No, there's no sex. No.
What do you mean there's no sex? Did you not just see that? Literally having sex.
Bitch, where?
Sex, they are literally, you probably like that. You are an asshole and you're even more of an asshole because you're still filming it.
I think your boyfriend that's being on the test.
You need to just shut.
Alright, I'll be quiet.
Goddamn, this bitch is on a rampage. She's killing everyone tonight. 5 found dead. How did they die? Stay tuned. They probably got their asshole fingered to death. More about it tonight at 9.
I want to do some stretches. Stretch your groin. Do you have a girlfriend?
Well, I guess I have nothing exclusive now.
Good. Is it tight? So if you don't have a girl that comes out to work like that, and then stick your hips up in the air. Do you see that? Yeah, right there. Oh, that's great. Go ahead and feel. Yes. Oh my gosh, you're in so amazing. Stuff like this. Round your spine. So arch, just like that. Stick your butt out like mine. See how my butt's sticking out?
Hey, thanks for the thumbnail. Either way, dude, this is just getting wild. This is turning into softcore porn real quick. I don't know if this is a common thing that goes on in West Virginia gyms. Like, you know, that little downward doggy style stretch that she's doing right here? I don't know, maybe that's like a way to say to strangers, hey, come on over, my butthole's not getting fingered. But it needs to stop.
Right. Let me get your number. I'm for some exclusive private training, one-on-one.
Definitely. I work at night, so just after about 5, I'm probably gonna be able.
You're welcome. Bye.
And then right after they go to the locker room, right?
Hey, you know what, Carlos? I'm not that mad at you. I mean, yeah, you were cheating on your girlfriend, kinda, but if all this was real and you finessed a number like that, I'd give you a lot of props. However, since this is all fake and she was an actress, and now your girlfriend's pissed off at you, and there's all kinds of people watching you on the internet, unfortunately, this has turned into another L. I know it's a fucking shame, but
You give me strength. I won't back down.
if we should make
My so weird, bro.
Whoa, dude. Like, no way, man. You think a lot? Even when you sleep, bro?
Even when I'm asleep?
What? No way. Dude, pass me that bong. Have you ever, like, thought in your sleep before, dude? It's crazy.
Sierra has been a difficult child to manage. She's been expelled from 2 different school districts. The first one, she was expelled for distributing marijuana brownies. The second one, she was expelled for bringing alcohol. When they put her in the cop car to take her in, she was making faces at me through the window. Sierra's had a very difficult time with the educational system, having confrontations with other students, turning in plagiarized work. She would sometimes leave school to just go get high.
Ooh boy, did not think that this would happen, but I'm gonna be completely honest with you. I think I've done all of those things that she just said. Confrontations with other students? Check. Turning in plagiarized work? Oh, check. Leaving school to get high? Now, I can't remember if I did that. That's kind of a little wild. I mean, yeah, I smoked some weed back in high school, right? Most people probably have, but I promise it was never this bad. Alright, back in high school, you wouldn't catch me stoned on Dr. Phil talking about, dude, like, my favorite food is mouthwash, or whatever she's saying. I'm not even paying attention, honestly. This girl is out of this world.
Sierra has a hard time taking criticism. She immediately shuts down and goes into tantrum mode and starts screaming. Don't touch me! Whatever she wants, she will steal. Makeup, clothes, jewelry, perfume, and food. It's though Sierra cannot tell the truth at all. Every word out of her mouth is a lie.
Every word out of her mouth is a lie. A lying, stealing stoner. Don't want to be friends with those people. I know a couple. However, I would be lying if I didn't tell you. You're kind of throwing me off, hugging a pillow, sitting on a couch with no shoes on. What are you doing? I can't take you serious at all until you at least put some flip-flops on. Also, you look like Jane Lynch in 20 years. I'm not making fun of you, I'm just saying. Let's get back to your daughter.
She's engaging in casual sex with numerous partners, male and female. She's actually even said to me before, you know, I'm gonna go ahead and make money off of my body. I see her as a threat to all men in her life. I absolutely worry about the people she chooses to be with. Homeless, druggies, sketchy people. People with no morals that'll do anything. I believe Sierra is in danger with the lifestyle that she's choosing.
You're not making it any better pretending to cry. Your daughter's a 17-year-old stoner stealing prostitute. Am I supposed to feel bad? But she's just 17. I don't care. When I was 17, I had my life almost figured out. That's a lie. I'm 21 and I still don't have my life figured out. I'm kind of hoping this YouTube thing keeps going, you know? That'd be cool. And if it doesn't, then hey, you know, I might have to take some tips off of your daughter. Plan A, B, C, D, and E did not work for me. Right now, we're on Plan F. My Plan G is to sell my body and become madly addicted to drugs. We'll see what happens in like 5 years. Until then, make sure you hit that subscribe button. All right, let's move on.
I ran away because I was tired of feeling like too structured and like caved in, like I was suffocated. I just was really craving independence. I was ready to be on my own and my mom was pissed that I was starting to pull away. I kind of just packed a bag of one thing and like just dipped.
Just dipped. That was kind of funny. I'm out this
See ya.
My mom and I just like weren't on the same level like of communication. Technically, I'm homeless, correct, but I've never spent like a single night on the street. Cheers. I know it sounds kind of like situation, but for me, like, it's been really nice because I've been able to find myself.
You've been able to find yourself? Where are you finding yourself? You didn't have to look very far, did you? Dude, this one time I got so high I lost myself. But then I was like, wait a minute, here I am. My butt hurts, so I don't know what's up with that. Must be those hobos I'm living with.
Homeless? Druggies?
Damn you, Gerald, you dirty hobo.
Honestly, for me, like, chemical drugs, like, people will try and put me on them for depression and this and that, but I really like to stick to naturals. It's beautiful, like, what Mother Nature can create, you know? Like, it's dope. Dog, like, I don't pay for it, like. Bro, it's not even like I do it because I'm desperate, honestly. I just, like, get off on it. It's, like, kind of like a guilty pleasure. I've never, like, actually begged for money. It's not like I sit on the corner of the street, like, asking for money. I never really feel like I'm in danger. I mean, I can handle myself pretty well.
You could handle yourself pretty well, huh? Yeah, looks like it's going great so far. You know, besides the drugs, the stealing, the lying, the prostituting yourself, you're doing great. Dr. Phil's in the studio? Nope, send him home. Cancel the show. We don't need him. I don't know why your mom's freaking out, you know? She's handling herself just fine, thank you. And in a dramatic twist of events, we will start the crying in 3, 2...
My childhood has been a show.
So tell me about the pain.
My mom suffers from severe bipolar. I have watched her go down an emotional roller coaster my entire life. There's been times where she has overdosed and I was the only one home. I didn't know what to do, so I just called an ambulance. They're like shaking her and trying so hard to get some sort of response out of her. And then I remember like the people interviewing me, they're like, she's too bright to be neglected. Like she's this and that. I thought they were just people hanging out with me, bringing me sandwiches. I was like, oh, cool, thanks for the sandwich. Like, is my mom okay?
All right, besides the fact that you just lost your mind the last second there, it's a pretty heartwarming story. I actually feel bad for her. I can't imagine having to go through that, honestly. Imagine watching your own mother overdose. That would suck. That would beyond suck. Whatever beyond sucking is, that's what it is. Either way, all eyes are on you now, Mom. The tables have turned. All right, I'm not too fond of your daughter, but she's got everybody in their feelings right now. So, you know, as of right now, I'm on this girl's team. Sorry, Mom, I abandoned you. If you would have put some socks on, maybe I wouldn't switch teams so fast. Anyways, like I said, I'm on this girl's team now. Let's see what happens.
I don't know how to let the pain out. If there's anything I can thank my whole family for is that my entire childhood has made me one hard. Nobody can tell me if I don't want to hear it. No one. No one.
You're so hard, why do you hide?
I guess I'm just weak. I don't know how to get in there. It's stuck.
If I could show you how to get that out of there, would you want to do it? Would you rather heal than hide?
I need to know what's wrong with my brain.
Well, I hate to stop this at such a dramatic moment. Unfortunately, I have to. That's what I do. Also, I'll get in a lot of trouble with YouTube if I don't. As long as I pause occasionally and then talk and give my input.
I wonder.
We're a week into 2018 and I have not posted a video yet. But to be honest, I'm sick of you guys calling me lazy. I see your comments. I know I'm lazy. You don't have to tell me that. Alright, I just bought a college degree online, illegally, just to save 4 years of school. Now if you ask me, that's more smart than it is lazy. So get off my back. Alright, I'm the one with the Harvard degree. I think I know what I'm talking about. Thank you very much. Anyways, today we will be checking out Addicted to Cheeseburgers. I cannot wait. Let's do it.
Victor lives on cheeseburgers and cheeseburgers alone. 4 burgers a day, 28 each week.
I love burgers.
Yeah, well, no 28 a week, my God. Now that is devotion. If you add that up, that's 1,456 burgers a year. That's some Harvard degree type math right there. Now, it doesn't take a genius like myself to know that that's not very healthy. I'm more of a burrito guy. I could always go for a burrito, you know what I mean? You got an extra burrito? I'll eat it. Thanks for the burrito. And even though I love them, I do not eat them every single day. And my mom always said, you are what you eat, and I never believed her until right now. You look like the kind of guy that only eats cheeseburgers. cheeseburgers. Not really that surprised. You are slowly becoming a cheeseburger. It's kind of like a Pokemon evolving, just nastier.
I don't eat salad. I don't eat steak. I don't eat any vegetables. I stay away from chicken.
Victor consumes over 88 pounds of fat every year.
Burgers are so good. The reason why I enjoy cheeseburgers so much is because I know exactly what's going on inside there. It's simple.
But Victor keeps this burger obsession hidden from his wife of 11 years. Victor's wife loves nothing more than to experiment with new foods.
I love all food.
I don't eat anything she makes.
Well, I'm sure that relationship's going great. Honey, the roast that you made looks amazing, but why don't you go ahead and shove it up your ass? I'm going to McDonald's.
Let me get a cheeseburger plain.
And that's the problem right there. You know, for a second I thought, okay, fine. This guy only eats cheeseburgers, whatever. But dude, you get them plain? What is wrong with you? Nothing at all? No ketchup? No mustard? Sounds like no fun. At this point, you just have meat, cheese, and a bun. Are you really living a plain cheeseburger?
Only they kept evolving it. Huh. Okay.
As quickly as I can. Will you watch Funny for a minute? Sure thing.
Oh, that's a good idea. Where's she going?
This is really spoiling the movie. It's a very long-ass trailer.
It's not the trailer, it's the real movie. I think you can watch the whole thing. It seems like you can watch the whole movie, no? Look, it's continuing. It's like the whole plot is going.
Excuse me, sir. Are you feeling
No.
No,
It's kind of scratchy. And I also want to eat you.
We'll follow. Emergency.
Turned into a zombie. Lady Charisma says, do you think an app like this could work these days? I could see this being big during COVID. I mean, you can imagine, like, GTA Online probably exploded during COVID, right? When everyone was stuck at home.
What to do? What? Time runs out on me.
Tyler, play the game!
Oh my god! What the fuck?
Holy shit! That is an epic fucking intro, dude. And I have to warn everyone. Warning. What you may see right now is going to be absolutely disgusting. Sound good?
Sounds good to me.
Whoa. In the casino of life, you start full of chips, right? Where everyone walks in fully loaded. But over time, you mess up. And every time you mess up, you lose some of your chips. Tonight, as we go through the Review Tech documentary by June the King, we're going to see the times in history.
This crapper's out of.
I'm sorry,
I don't care what it takes. Just get rid of them now. Arrest them if you have to. Sir, we don't.
Anyway. You were 16 years younger in 2008. That's correct. If you were alive, you were 16 years younger. That is officially true. Here's what I should do. I should move my camera down slightly.
Time grows short.
On June 9th, 2023, police were notified when a thick baddie tried to buy a laptop from Best Buy with a fraudulent ID.
Yeah, can we just move out of...
From
I don't have my ID on me. Thank you. Yeah, can we just move out of the way
let's
so we can
just send over here.
I'm here.
Is there somebody with the car? On live?
Where'd you get this ID from?
That's not me in the ID.
Huh?
That's not me.
That's not you?
No.
Looks like you.
That's not me.
That looks like you.
That does not look like me.
Yeah, it looks like you.
White SUV.
Alright. What was she trying to purchase?
Computer.
I'm not going nowhere. I'm trying to move from the side.
Yeah, you could move over here.
Okay. You're not even the officer. I'm not talking to you.
What's she
You're
trying to
taking away
get?
from me.
Computer, $1,300.
Mac?
Windows this time.
Windows?
Yeah. The two other guys that came with her.
I didn't come with that guy was asking me for my number actually, and I was trying to move.
Yeah.
I don't know him.
I'm not talking to you. So the
You said
cameras
two
really-
other guys.
What the cameras
There was
really
one
pulled
guy
up,
there
they're
following me,
all
asking
came
for
from
my
the same
number.
area.
Yeah.
I don't.
Tried in New York.
For my number.
But you're
for
saying
my
you kind of
social
brushed
media.
him off, right?
Yeah, I turned around and I'm like, oh no. He said, before you go back to the guy, because he was helping me, then he left and he was like, before you go to the other guy, can I have your phone number or your social media? And I said, no, that I didn't have social media. And I couldn't give him my number.
Okay.
But I don't know him at all.
Okay. How'd you get here today?
In an Uber.
You Uber? Okay. Are you staying local, like in a hotel in the local area, or?
Yeah, well, I already checked out the hotel.
Where were you staying?
And,
Try in New York, please.
it was the, I have to check my
29
email.
30, we found one.
Sorry, miss. Did you say no record in both?
Yeah, no record, New York and Illinois.
Okay.
No.
Are you out of New York?
If I'm out of New
Like,
York?
do you live in New York?
Yes, I
That's
do.
where your driver's license is out of.
Yeah.
Your government ID.
Yes, from New York. My birthday, yes.
Okay, because we're not getting anything back on that, which means that you don't exist.
I never been arrested. How do I exist?
No, I'm talking about like your driver's license.
Oh,
So that
yes.
means
No,
you're...
yes. I've never been arrested or nothing.
No? Okay.
When I was in middle school for fighting and stuff like that, but
No,
not.
that's nonsense.
Yeah.
How long you live in New York?
All my life.
Out of New York. Nothing out of Illinois and New York, you just have it back clear.
Okay, thank you. All right, like I said, we'll wait for him to come over and then see what's going on here. All right, I don't know if I missed it. Where'd you say you were staying?
I just check out. So I'm not gonna lie. I come here and work like at the strip clubs and stuff like that. And
Yeah, no worries.
I do that like sometimes in different states, or, you know. But
Were you staying in the city or were you staying out of a suburb?
what here?
Yeah, like were you staying in Chicago or were you staying in
Yeah.
Chicago?
Like and then I just go like every time I work at a club, I go to a next club the next day and stay at a near hotel from there or Airbnbs and stuff like that.
Okay. All right. So do you come for like extended like a couple of weeks or just a couple days? Or?
No, this is my first time here in Chicago for that.
All right.
I pray and it has sound like
Sure.
seriously.
Yeah, I don't know if they have like audio.
Yeah.
I don't know how their cameras work here, to be honest.
I hope if they do so, at least just so he could feel stupid, because I would understand, but we definitely didn't look like we was together.
Sure.
But maybe because he saw him with his phone in his hand trying to talk to me, maybe he, I don't know who was that.
Yeah, you know how it goes.
Female 95.
City, and then I.
No shit.
So, I was going through a hard time and I have kids and bills and.
How many kids?
Two.
Two.
Huh?
This is Jeanette.
Hey, Jeanette, what brought you in today?
So I just came out here, like I was telling him, I dance at strip clubs and then from city to city. And then I came in, I'm not gonna lie, I was trying to get a laptop, but I didn't even purchase anything. I didn't get anything.
Okay, well, did you give him anything up there?
the ID.
You gave him the ID?
Yeah.
And it's not you, clearly?
It's not me, it's someone that looks like me though.
Okay, what we're going to do is we have to place you under arrest for possession of fraudulent ID, so if you put your hands behind your back. Okay.
And I left my bag in the Uber, so I don't know.
Okay. I'm sure one of our female nurses...
Can I text my mom and let her know?
Oh, we'll let you call at the police department, okay?
This is too tight on this side.
Let me get it.
Female 95, female 95.
Would I be able to take the numbers from my phone at least? Because I don't remember my number.
You'll be able to.
You sure?
Yeah.
Okay.
As long as you're cool.
I'll grab your bag. I got your bag. Let go of your bag. Yeah. We're going to walk outside.
I hope it's good to be able to eat every night. Okay?
We're going to walk over here. Is your mom live in Illinois? You currently live in Illinois? Okay. How long have you been in Illinois for? 2 days. Do you have any pockets on you or anything, or no? No pockets? Okay. Let's see.
Wait, with the thing there?
Yeah, it's just gonna pop out. Yeah, it's just gonna go across your leg.
Oh my.
Audio processing. Job's done.
Wrangling whelps is harder than it looks. Time grows short. Water. Sweet, beautiful water.
swatted 3 times last year. Boogie was accused of lying about being swatted twice over the holidays so he could garner sympathy and play victim. Boogie2988, once known as the internet nice guy,
coming at you live once again through the power of the internet,
who made a living off making fun of himself and being positive, has now been exposed for over a decade's worth of lies, ranging from his mental and physical health, to swattings, car accidents, crypto scams, hookers, the N-word, and yes, even cancer. And every time he gets confronted on his lies, he lies more to cover it up by either feigning principles, shifting blame.
Boogie can confirm that he has polycythemia vera, and he actually has like a doctor confirmation of the blood cancer. I'll throw $5,000 towards his medical treatment. I'll make that personal pledge right now.
No,
Hey, you need the money!
You're not seeing my medical records for 20, not for 50. You're not seeing my medical
$5
records.
grand.
Some Ordinary Gamers is offering $50,000.
Make it 200. Make it $1 million.
Okay, you know what? He gets caught lying about being swatted, and he says his FBI friend put him up to it.
I have a friend who works for the FBI, and I asked him how to deal with the online harassment that I get from a certain subreddit.
But his favorite tactic is hiding behind his mental health.
I don't fucking know, dude. I was in the middle of a panic attack after 3 days of not fucking sleeping. I am mentally ill. I am.
He's had over a decade of lies on this website. Boogie spilled his woes to one of the people from the Reddit asking, would you like to know 3 things that nobody knows about my personal life? I dated a 43-year-old woman for 6 months last year. Bro, you're 50, who cares? He says he lost 2 friends for not killing himself, and that he's writing a book. Again, who cares? But this next part is Boogie begging the person to stay away from the Reddit. Get away from that hive mind. They are sad, scary, dangerous people. They have swatted me. I've been swatted twice this month already. Now, the guy from the Reddit takes offense to this because they never encouraged anyone to swat Boogie. So he, of course, leaks it, and Boogie has to change his story. Obviously, I have no way of knowing who swatted me, and I never said that I did. I just said I got swatted twice last month. The Reddit at this point smelled blood in the water, and they looked at the Fayetteville police record, showing that Boogie was swatted 3 times that year, but none of them were in December like he claimed. Boogie being Boogie can't keep his mouth shut, so he starts adding all this intricate detail. No, you see, after the July swatting, the police supposedly don't include it in their blotters. He established it was just harassment, and they don't want the people doing the harassment to get the reward, was my understanding from the cops I've spoken with. The last welfare check they were going to make public was July. Now, one of the visible welfare checks was in November, so this doesn't make sense. Boogie would respond to this saying, must be a mistake on their part. Can you tell me what date it was so I know which November date visit it was and I could ask them about it? Police records are always public, so this is all fishy. Somebody from the Reddit then decided to email the Fayetteville police about it, and they replied, thank you for your inquiry. No records have ever been purged from our system, and there has never been nor ever will be an understanding with police or dispatch to omit calls from public record. Okay, so he's finally caught. He has no choice but to own up, right? No, it's Boogie. He has to make an even more elaborate lie. Boy, that hate subreddit's gonna wake up to a real banger this morning. So I've always had a bunch of people tweeting at me for attention, ever since I talked to that one critic this summer. So I took advantage of that and slipped into DMs a few weeks back and filled one guy up with misinformation I knew he would mix in with the truth. I'm a terrible liar, and reading back, it's so cringe. Claimed I dated a 43-year-old woman for almost a year. Said I was writing a book. Half true, and all kinds of other stuff. I was hoping it would keep them busy. It sure did. Nobody cares. He's trying to frame himself as a super genius, like he's Yugi Moto laying out these traps. One of the things I said was that I got 2 visits from the cops in December. That's not much of a lie because I got maybe 4 visits last year. It was actually 3, but what's one more lie? Just shifted the dates around. Had no clue they would latch onto that one thing like they did though. To prove me wrong, they literally looked up my home address and then cross-referenced it via police records to try and discredit me. But in the process, they proved I got swatted 3 times last year. Boogie was accused of lying about being swatted twice over the holidays so he could garner sympathy and play victim. Now that he's caught, he continues to play victim by saying he's been doxxed. They provide dates, making it easier to find my address. I mean, they literally violated Reddit's policy by making it easy on a thread to find my home address. It could even get their subreddit shut down. Absolutely insane. What's even crazier is they tried to make it seem like I blamed them for the swat. I didn't. You did in DMs, which is what kicked this whole thing off. There's no other way to read it. He then blames it on his totally real PR friend who gave him the advice to lie about his swatting. This was of course horribly manipulative and something I normally would never do. I have a friend in PR and she recommended me giving the misinformation. I just can't believe how awful it made them look. Doxing me, then spending hours to go through police records to discredit me. Unfortunately for Boogie, everybody isn't as stupid as he thinks they are. This whole thing made the Reddit seem like they were right, and it was now becoming a mainstream opinion that Boogie was a manipulative liar. He'd delete all the tweets and upload a video trying to prove the Reddit wrong. And how's he do that? You guessed it. He makes the lie even more elaborate. It's now the FBI giving him advice.
I have a friend who works for the FBI, and I asked him how to deal with the online harassment that I get from a certain subreddit, from Kiwi farms, from places like that. And he told me the only way to fight that stuff back is to expose those people for what they really are. So that's what this video is. I'm going to show you some receipts that I think you should see.
Now, Boogie does do a good job at dispelling some of the rumors existing on the Reddit, like how he was abusive towards his ex-wife.
Supposedly, I made my wife sign an NDA, and they give it again false context, saying that NDAs are signed when there are things to hide, which explains why Dez has been awfully quiet on the relationship or any psychological, not physical, abusive behavior towards her. And yes, I get that you're saying not a wife beater, but you're still accusing me of being emotionally abusive or any other type of abuse. You're being hypocritical. You can't trust those types of hypocrites. And by the way, my ex-wife never signed an NDA, and here she is on her own Twitter account claiming that she never signed an NDA. She can say whatever she wants.
Now, this was already seen as not a very credible claim. The fake swatting, however, that was very viral news. Boogie would ignore every other credible claim on the Reddit.
They've been calling me a liar and a manipulator for a really, really long time, and after talking to my friend at the FBI, after talking to a friend in PR, they made a suggestion, and that was to bait them and see what would happen. So I did. I had a private conversation with somebody I knew who posted on that message board, and I filled it full of tons of misinformation to see what they would grab a hold of. Now, I want to show you these receipts, but someone, probably from that subreddit, hacked into my Twitter today. I don't have access to it.
How convenient. I want to be clear, nobody hacked him. He just gave himself a blank profile pic and deleted a few of the tweets of him lying. He got his Twitter back the day after this video was released. He tweeted, "Got my account back." For those who doubted the hackers, here's the receipts. It's my login history for this account. Apparently, they used MobCrush to spoof to get in. I removed my approved apps. Doubt anyone will care about the truth, but here it is. The attached screenshot shows nothing. One IP address. That's it. The company MobCrush would respond to Boogie saying that is their IP address and all it is doing is periodically checking metrics. They clarify, MobCrush takes your privacy seriously. We do not ask for a greater level of access to your social media accounts, greater than we require to work seamlessly. Proving Boogie is just lying again. There's so many layers to this lie.
Someone, probably from that subreddit, hacked into my Twitter today. I don't have access to it. As soon as I do, I'll link this video, I'll link all of this stuff and show you guys. But take my word for it, I told them all kinds of outlandish stuff. I told them that I was writing a book, which is not an entire lie, but I told them that I was swatted twice in December. I told them that that I dated a girl that was 43 years old for the last couple of years because I wanted to see what they would do with this information, and I just wanted to keep them busy. I wanted to bait them based on what my PR person said. They said, give them something to talk about, so I did. What they latched onto, though, I was totally surprised with what they latched on because they incriminated themselves so beautifully.
Wow, Boogie, you're so smart.
If you have respect for these people after me showing you this, then I don't want you to have respect for me because I no longer respect you. Right here in one of the most upvoted posts on this entire subreddit, they show where they both doxed me, where they searched police records involving my address and my home information, and they have literally gone completely batshit insane. I mean, they've been calling me a liar and a manipulator this whole time, and I decided that I would just embrace it. That's what I would do in order to see if I can give them enough rope to hang themselves. They played right into it. I probably should have done this years ago when this harassment first started, but at least I did it now.
Boogie, all you're doing is proving them right. He's just incoherently rambling, willing to say anything to get out of the situation.
But at this point, my career is over. At this point, my YouTube channel is over. Public perception about me is completely gone. So I had nothing else to lose at this point. If I lose you, one of the last things I had to lose over it, I'm genuinely sorry. I genuinely am. And they're telling me that I broke the law by lying about this stuff, so I might even go to jail. But if it was a way to try to save my career, I hope you can understand why I did it. If it was a chance to save my relationship with you, I hope you understand why I did it. This is completely out of character for me. It fucks me up having to do it.
What are you on about, man? Boogie has spent the last year framing this little Reddit hate group as grapists, Nazis, Christina Grimmie level bad. So Boogie is finally getting what he asked for. In comes Frank Castle. Frank Castle is a professional harasser.
And your obese friend.
What's
huh? What? Huh? I'm just hanging out on the beach. I'm Chad King. I'm from BuzzFeed.
Get away.
And he made it his mission to show up at Boogie's house, letting him know weeks beforehand. I don't agree with that at all, but it is karma in its purest form. So what's Boogie's rational response? It's to accept death. If you do plan to harm, just leave my friends and my dog out of it. You are welcome to kill me. Frank replies, we should make a video together where I give you a pink belly until your stomach has friction burns. Boogie then got in his head that he was going to kill Frank.
Asshole, did you go to his house? Did you go to Boogie's house?
I'm starting to wish that I had at this point, giving the little panic attack he appears to be having on Twitter, but unfortunately, no, it was not me.
But Frank, you did go down to Dixon Street last night, take a photo, tag me in that photo, and then say, I'm in your town, right? That was you? Oh, that's on your Twitter feed right now?
Yes, that was me. I am in Dixonville right now, and I am in Fayetteville, Arkansas.
All right, well, cool, man. Let me make it very clear. You should be very glad you didn't step on my property, okay? And I highly recommend you don't. It'll be the last decision you make. I don't know who you are. I don't know what your problem is, but I have no problem ending you if you come here.
Not 3 minutes into the interview, and Boogie is already shielding behind his mental health.
Understand that this is what you're doing to me. You've picked somebody with post-traumatic stress disorder to target with this type of wrestling. What the fuck are you doing in Fayetteville, Arkansas? I get that this is funny to you. It is not funny to me, Frank. I am mentally ill. I am out of my mind with anxiety. You know that.
The reason why Frank's in the wrong here, Boogie, has nothing to do with your mental health. Boogie then decides to switch tactics and start playing the tough guy.
Frank, I need you to listen, Beatty. Okay? And I'm going to hang up and you can say whatever the you want to.
You're crying and
I'm not crying, Frank. I'm threatening your life, Frank.
And I'm not
threatening your life, Frank. I'm letting you know that if you step foot on my property, Frank, because you have threatened me, Frank, because you said you would ball gag me, because you said you would rape me, because you said you would come to my house, because you said that there was a reckoning, because you said that there was going to be damage done to me, because you have fucking threatened me.
Boogie would get a felony for discharging a firearm into the air, giving Frank Castle exactly what he wanted.
This motherfucker said to me, Boogie, I'm coming to your house one day, and when I do, it's going to be the worst day of your life. It's going to be worse than the day your parents abused you. That's what this guy said to me, right? And then this motherfucker went on to harass me. He ended up showing up in my house, and you know what? He was right. He made 100% good on his threat. It is now officially the worst day of my life. It's now officially the most victimized I've ever been, even if you include my parents. It's the most fucked up thing anyone has ever done to me.
Boogie's victim status would hit all new heights, and to be fair, he is a victim here, just nobody cares anymore. January of 2021, Boogie would post a video titled, I am finally rich, bragging about his crypto wealth.
Did something very stupid that I do not recommend anyone else ever do. But it worked. I basically took every dime I had in liquid funds and invested it in a huge gamble. And I did this at the advice of my friend Jesse Ridgway, McJuggernuggets, who guaranteed that money, saying that if the money disappeared, he would help take care of me and help me rebuild. Well, fortunately, the money didn't disappear. And my thought process at the time was, look, even if it does disappear, I can always just go ahead through with my stupid plans.
By a stupid plan, he means Alt F4ing his life.
At the end of the day, making these videos has never been about the money. It's never been about the views. Never feel pressured to get one of those memberships down below. Never feel pressured to subscribe on Twitch. Never feel pressured to make a donation or interact with one of my sponsors. Never feel
not to
used as an excuse to promote a pump and dump crypto scam called Fatty Coin.
Fatty for life.
Because, you know, if Boogie can't get his fans to buy t-shirts, maybe he could scam them.
I don't think it's a pump and dump. It is a meme coin.
It's literally from a thing called Pump.Fun. What are you talking about?
I never knew who Pump.Fun was until today.
I told you in DMs not to do this. You came to me because you were about to launch this coin.
It was launched. You told me after my first tweet. I literally said to you, the question before that was like, hey man, can we talk real quick? You said, don't do it. I said, I have some questions. And you said, don't do it. But at that point, today, it was already too late. First tweet was out. And
No. There was no contract. There was no video out.
The money's already spent. It's at Mercy Hospital right now. It's gone. I used it to pay debts.
Immediately hiding behind the cancer.
If I'm being genuine with you, and I do want to be genuine with you and the rest of the internet, I'm in pretty dire need of money. I have a lot of medical bills, and I'm fighting cancer, and I very much like not to fuck around with my healthcare too much, but that's something I would genuinely have to consider.
There is zero accountability from Boogie. He ends the call so salty.
I hope you get better. I hope you get better with your sickness, and
yeah, it's cancer, man. People don't generally get better. But I appreciate that. Thank you.
On Twitter, Boogie would be saying, the cancer is effing expensive. I'm at the beginning stages and I can't afford it. When this inevitably turns into leukemia, I'll be utterly effed. We talked about it on the podcast, but I'm a tired man. Tired of being mentally ill. Tired of being sick. Tired of being old. Tired of being bullied. Tired of being abused. Tired of being hated. Tired of hating myself. I'm so old and exhausted that the cancer diagnosis seems like a gift, and I am grateful for it.
Having a bad cancer day. I've not had anybody ever say that to me before, so I'm not a record.
It was funny, right? You had cancer day? It was
I just don't feel very good.
All right. Well, I hope you feel better. I do.
Well, I won't.
So like what do we need, Boogie? You need to swim a lap. Like you need a dog to lick you in the face. Like we need some vibes. What we got to get from you?
I need to not have cancer.
Holy shit, he did it. Boogie lying about cancer would come around in a truly poetic way. Keemstar was fighting with the other podcast members on LolCal Live, and Boogie would try and keep the team together. Boogie would spend the next day trying to keep Wings on board.
What the fuck are you doing?
Streaming?
I know, I'm talking about with the show, obviously.
You realize the show's going to crash without Keem, right?
Sure, and why not get paid until it does?
Because the paychecks aren't going to be coming.
Let's imagine it's half as much next month. That's $1,500. I need it. You don't need it? Yeah, Keemstar might have cut the paycheck in half. You're the one who made sure it went to fucking zero. So yes, I'm going to stay mad at you. Show the up to work tomorrow. Have a pair of balls.
Boogie's like, Wings, I don't care what happens. I need that bag. I will put my girl on OnlyFans if I have to.
You have an opportunity to decide whether or not you're going to bite or get bitten. Bite, motherfucker. Bite. That's the show. It's a goddamn dogfight. That's what the internet is. I'm going to launch crypto coins. I'm going to launch Desi's OnlyFans. I'm going to suck cocaine off of a Nazi's asshole if I have to. I'm going to do whatever the fuck it takes to survive in this environment.
The next stream would come around and the storyline is Boogie kept the band together. Then Destiny comes out of nowhere and exposes Boogie for faking cancer.
2 years ago, you said that you had a cancer diagnosis, but now you just said now they're doing a biopsy to check for cancer.
Confirmation.
Is this house MD? Are we treating a blood cancer without actually confirming it yet? For 2 years, you've been having a cancer treatment without confirming there's actually cancer there?
Wings asks why Boogie won't just show the diagnosis, and Boogie says it's the only private thing he has left in his life.
I just don't understand why you won't just go grab a piece of paper and just disprove them. Like you're having all these feelings.
This is the one last thing I have left. You motherfuckers were in my marriage. You guys were in everything else. You're in every aspect of my life. Let me have one goddamn thing.
You're trying to tell me.
Let me have cancer.
Destiny then offers $5,000 if Boogie just shows his diagnosis. Remember, this cancer costs so much that Boogie had to crypto scam his audience, and Boogie says no.
If Boogie can confirm that he has polycythemia vera, and he actually has like a doctor confirmation of the blood cancer, I'll throw $5,000 towards his medical treatment. I'll make that personal pledge right now.
Hey, you need the money.
You're not seeing my medical records for 20, not for 50. You're not seeing my medical records.
$5,000.
I just want people to remember in the future then, when Boogie says, I have to do XYZ scam to raise money because my medical bills are hurting so much, he can speak publicly about his medical issues to scam his fans to raise money, but he can't take $5,000 to privately confirm a diagnosis that he already publicly said he has. Doesn't make any sense, but
even I have a fucking limit.
This is not the first time Boogie's been accused of faking cancer, but when it's come up in the past, Boogie's decided to publicly shame them.
I see the rumor mill's creeping back up again. The same rumor mill that's accused me of God knows what else. And this time they've decided that I am faking my cancer diagnosis. And whereas I know that those people know better, I know that nobody's that fucking stupid, it's still going to spread like wildfire. So number one, if you're that kind of person, fucking stop. I get it's fun to LARP about me. I get it's fun to pretend that I'm a piece of shit. And I get that I made my mistakes in the past. But cancer's not something to pretend about. Cancer's not something to joke about. Cancer's not something pretending that I'm lying about. Cancer for clout and views is a fucked up thing to do. Get help. I get that it's fun to pretend. I get that it's fun to dunk on me and try to ruin my life. I get it. But you if you're doing that. I don't want to let you this time. I've let you every other time. I didn't give a fuck what you had to say. But cancer's not a thing that we're going to joke about, okay? Cancer's not a thing that we're going to pretend I'm lying about. That's not a thing we're gonna do.
This is so bad.
15,000 total. He would
15
get.
grand? You can do it.
No.
He's going to pay you
lying.
$15,000 to look like an asshole in front of his entire audience, and you're saying no.
Yep.
He's
This
lying.
is too much, man. I don't know if you guys can understand. This
I
is
can
too much.
completely understand. I went through 2 years of fucking people like Mersh saying I was faking it.
Some ordinary gamers will also put $10,000 towards it.
Make it 100. Make it $1 million.
If
I'm
you
good.
have cancer, if you prove that you have
This
cancer.
is
Make it 100.
bullshit.
Make it
No.
100.
No. You got 25K sitting on the table. There's something going on here.
Yeah, there's something is, man. I'm just exhausted. I'm done.
You
done.
just did a crypto scam to make money because you said you're worried about cash. They're offering 25K.
Yeah, I
and
thought
you
that
get to
was funny.
shit on them.
The manipulation tactics from Boogie are in full swing. He starts saying he feels backstabbed.
I spent 2 years treating a disease that doesn't exist. These people used to be my friends, and I genuinely would have never believed it would even come to this. And I just, man, I'm just rather be done, man. I'm good. I'm good.
You're playing this as some kind of backstab? I mean, anybody
No,
can confront
not at all.
Nobody
Not at all.
backstab.
Do you think I backstabbed you by having Destiny on?
No, not at all.
When that doesn't work, he starts suicide baiting.
He's planning on whoring out his girlfriend with OnlyFans.
No, that would have involved being on the internet. You're describing things that involve being on the internet.
Okay, well, if you've got a backup plan for revenue, then what was the scramble to get revenue in the first place if it's so easy to do?
The backup plan is to just go ahead and sell my house and then give the money to the people that deserve it, and be good to go.
You're going to, what, live in an apartment?
Probably not.
He's so desperate for any out, Jim gives him the slightest opening and he dives on it.
I don't know how he manipulates everyone. He
There's no
manipulates
manipulation
me all
here.
the time.
Either he's either lying, which is terrible, or he's telling the truth and
Which you're
acting
not.
like or you're telling the truth and you have cancer, but you're being a stubborn fucking retard.
Yes,
And
it's
you're
that
walking
one.
away-
It's that
you're
one.
walking away
I
from
am going to
25K.
have one, when I leave this f***ing internet, I'm going to have one goddamn thing I kept to myself. One goddamn thing, and that's my goddamn medical records. And I don't want one of you motherfuckers feeling sorry for me. I don't give a
Yeah, you do.
The money pot rose up to 75K because it's so obvious he's lying.
Buddha says he'll write an escrow right now if Boogie comes back and he'll up it to 60K.
No, he's not gonna do it. He's not gonna do it.
Wait, that means it's technically 75. We're almost to 100.
This is fucking ridiculous.
It took 7 hours of streaming this interrogation for Boogie to finally own up. In that time, there were so many lies, I couldn't even put them all in one video.
I'm going to be so upset if he actually has cancer and he went through all this hell for no reason whatsoever. That's going to be so
real fucking upset. You about to be real fucking upset.
That's gonna
No,
be
we're not.
so
You're not gonna show us anything, so we won't know nothing.
No, when I die.
How about this,
no,
Boogie?
this is
Instead
something.
of the actual diagnosis,
Hold on,
could you show
hold
us
on.
the history of the
Hold on a second.
cancer?
Hold on a second. My medical records will be released the day after I die. Me and my brother have spoken about that. The day after I pass, I want you motherfuckers to know how wrong you were. So the day after I pass,
To be honest, I don't give a
my medical
fuck.
records from
I will literally do a stream laughing at you if you die, turning down 80 grand, laughing at you, and so will most of the internet.
Good.
No one will feel bad. I hate to ruin it for you. Nobody's gonna think it's anything but funny. What do you think, Boogie? You think you'd watch down from heaven and it's like, oh, we were so wrong. He really did have cancer. How did we not know?
At one point, he straight up cries.
Most likely have the cancer, right? But you haven't gone through all the steps, so you can't say you have the cancer or not, right?
Exactly.
And I
that's
find
why
it very
fucking
hard to
sucks.
believe, and I'm not willing to disbelieve
It's
that 3
fine, Boogie.
doctors you
Stop
said
freaking out.
diagnosed you.
No, that's why it
One of them
sucks.
wanted to put it in the chart.
That's why it fucking sucks that I'm getting called by all of my favorite fucking creators a liar when I'm not fucking lying.
You
And it's
lied
not-
1.5 years ago about a diagnosis. That
No, I
now you
didn't,
just
because he
don't even-
fucking told me. My doctor fucking told me I have cancer. God damn it!
The show ends with Muda calling for Boogie to get fired. Boogie gets paid $2,000 to $3,000 a month from the show. It's his main source of income.
I think Boogie's a complete liar, and I don't think he should be on this show. I think if you guys continue to pay him, you're supporting somebody that would blatantly lie about the most vile thing on the show. 100%. No, I feel like if you let Boogie on the show, you are supporting somebody that would blatantly lie about one of the most emotionally destructive things in any society. That's where I'm at least.
In the next episode, Boogie would come right out and say what everyone knew.
I've done a lot of soul searching since the last episode. We've been making some changes
here on the house, and I've been trying to think of different ways that I could show everybody how sorry I am.
Be clear for the audience. What Boogie just said is that his video 2 years ago should have said, I have this disease. It may be the non-cancer type or the cancer type, but they're treating me for the cancer type. That's what the video should have been.
That's what the video exactly should have been.
He's still lying. In his tweet and in the video, he said he waited until it was confirmed.
I've known about this for a little over 6 weeks. That it was a probability, though I just got my official diagnosis.
Boogie's way to make up for it is to donate $1,000 to St. Jude.
Right now, and I have it queued up, ready to go, regardless of whether or not you kick me off of the show, I'm donating $1,000 basically to St. Jude's. I'm pulling that trigger right now.
People are really, really mad about the 1K. How do you justify the 1K?
Because that's what I have left. I don't know what else I should give. I can't give away money.
But you told Coffee that you had no money left. And now there's $1,000.
Well, I got paid by you. And no, I showed him receipts for $3,000. There was $2,000 left.
Keem fires Boogie because the chat hates him so much, and then Boogie pretends to be religious. It is so cringe.
Twisted Slops says, if there's anything I want Boogie to do is to turn to God. If you need help with that, reply to my DM. I really want to help you. It will change everything. I forgive you because that's what Jesus taught me to do. I've prayed a lot in this last week, and it's not been helping. But I think if I do some good works, it might.
What do you mean you pray to God? You're not religious.
Yeah, I told you a year ago. I found God again. Me and God talk every day. I've told you this. Said it on the show many times.
Maybe.
Yeah. I'm not exactly Christian. I don't really subscribe to any particular subset of religion, but I do know there's a God. I do know there's a creator, and I speak with him.
So stupid, Boogie.
Maybe I need Jesus. It's
dumb. I can't.
Boogie starts to have a meltdown because, of course, he's lost his job. He's been exposed. He's talking about himself like he's a rare Pokemon.
I'm in a very dangerous place. I'm a 400-pound, 50-year-old man. That's goddamn rare.
Boogie starts preaching about suicide, and nobody wants to hear it. So Boogie then threatens to end it all.
I'm just saying there are probably people out there watching this right now who are struggling with suicidal impulses. And if you're one of them, stick it out. That's all I'm trying to say.
You're not. Shut up. Oh my God. It's like, give me a fuck answer. Give me a fuck answer, guys. Give me a fuck suicide. My God. You were never suicidal. You love yourself way too much to ever kill yourself, okay? You're way too narcissistic. You would never be suicidal. You'd let the world burn to ashes around you before you even considered hurting yourself any more than... That was too mean. But no, yeah, like... Jesus.
Hey, I don't self-harm. I don't self-harm.
Whoa.
Okay, well, that was what my joke was going to be. I was saying any more than stuffing your mouth full with a cheeseburger. Like, that's what I was going to say. But yeah, if you want to say, yeah.
It is self-harm, motherfucker. That's why people like to do this. It is a form of self-harm, motherfucker. That's why we do it.
I don't even like the taste of food anymore.
Honestly, bro.
If you don't like the taste of food, why drink diet? Why drink diet
Why did you miss it?
instead of just drinking water?
Because it's a form of self-harm. Because I'm destroying my
drink
body.
Diet Mountain. You go to the store and you spend money on a drink that you apparently don't like just to hurt yourself. You know, cutting is way cheaper, right? One razor blade will last you a lifetime.
I used to
but I drink aspartame soft drinks.
Encouraging people to cut their fucking arms. Last I fucking heard, the guy who laughed at Donald Trump's assassination attempt is telling people to cut their fucking arms. Go fuck yourself. Oh, you want to see that? Hold on. Okay, I'll do it. Give me 30 seconds.
No.
Holy shit. The next era of Boogie self-harm.
Oh, God.
No, he's waiting for you to tell him to stop. That's what he's doing. He's going to come back with the razor. He's going to hold it up.
You're Googling knives. Do not do anything with that knife. No.
Hold on. No, he wants me to. He told me to, right?
No.
Oh, this is so much better than eating a sandwich.
Right now.
So much better than eating a sandwich, Destiny.
Put that away right now.
Fucking piece of shit.
Okay. All right.
Boogie has lied about 3 major events: the swatting, the crypto scam, and the cancer. So now, just like the Reddit all those years ago, people start questioning the abuse, even though it's probably the only real story he's told.
It's a little different when it's Destiny coming in saying, you're a liar. Prove that your dad made you jerk him off. Prove it. Prove something that happened in 1983. Prove it. Prove it. If you don't prove it, it can't happen. If you can't prove it, it didn't happen. I can't do that. I can't prove something that happened in 1983. I didn't have a cell phone in my pocket.
Okay. But you told me privately the reason why some of the stories, and I'm not going to leak anything, don't worry. But you told me why some of the stories are inconsistent and they don't match up.
Yes.
Why don't you just tell the
I
audience?
don't want to destroy a human life. Because I don't want to destroy someone's fucking life. Because I don't want to destroy somebody's life. Because I don't want to destroy somebody's life. Because I don't want to destroy somebody's life.
Boogie, why don't you just take the mic and say what you want to say about this whole situation?
I'm so happy. I hate this. I hate it. I hate this show. I hate breathing air. I hate being alive. I'm so much pain. I can't stand it anymore. I can't stand this. I can't stand this. I've ruined my life.
I know you can't talk about your sister. You said you would talk about your dad and mother all day. So will you address those issues? Because
yes, my mother twitted my fucking balls. That's part of the abuse. And she twisted my balls and my dick. And she told me that sex was disgusting and awful. And she told me that only disgusting, awful people had it.
Okay, but then, okay, well, let's not talk about any of it.
No, my dad masturbated in front of me and showed me pornography and asked me if I wanted to join in and encouraged me to touch him, and I fucking did! I did! I fucking did! I fucking did! I fucking did!
No.
There! Can we be done? Can we be done with it? Can we be done with it?
I feel bad for him, but he brought it upon himself. No one trusts him with anything. He makes him read the donations, and it's so sad.
Can you get louder? The chat can't hear you. You're mumbling.
Yes, I'm in the middle of a very severe panic attack.
Okay, let's take a moment. Big breaths. You ready? With me.
Leah something says.
Wait.
Let me get down it! Let me get down it!
Rerouting sound.
I think your mic settings are wrong because we can't hear you. Even that screaming and yelling.
Scam Boogie, make him pay the $3K and mail the play button to Medicare. Leave something. Thank you for your donation.
Thank you, Leah. Something. We appreciate you.
No, Scout. Boogie, keep your chin up, man. You'll get through this. We all go through the storm sometimes. Fault sees us through it. Thank you.
Look, that was inspirational. They had your back.
I don't know. I don't care. I don't care. I just want to get through it. I don't care.
You got
this. Let me get through it.
You got this, bro. Let's
shut up.
You're doing good.
Shut the f up! Matt Sales says, so only people that aren't capable of refusing his testimony are allowed to be discussed. If they are dead, they're fair game. This is why, Dan, I told you I couldn't talk about this, man.
You can do this.
This is why I told you, no, I can't. I told you I couldn't talk about this.
Boogie, you knocked this out of the park.
I begged you not to make me talk about this on the show. I begged you.
You crushed it.
I begged you. I begged you. I begged you, Dan. I begged you.
You crushed it.
You
did very good tonight.
I fucking begged you.
You did. What's going on over there?
This whole drama really entails the full lolcow life cycle. It ends with Boogie getting liar tattooed to his face.
To be entirely honest, this is not on Keemstar. This is not on Keemstar. This is on me. I'm the one who jumped my diagnosis. I'm the one who talked about this before I got fully diagnosed. I'm the one who I'm the one that has a history of pathological lying. I'm the one. This is me. This is me owning my shit. This is me owning my shit.
Boogie gets liar tattooed to his face after faking cancer.
And I will say, it does feel like Boogie's got a new lease on life. Like the weight of all those lies is finally lifted off his shoulders.
The fact that I didn't want to do it is why I did it.
Yeah.
Because I got up, right? I get it. Yeah. And I'll tell you what I learned about all of this is I need to shut the up about my trauma and my history and all that shit. It's played the out. Nobody wants to hear about it. Nobody cares. I need to figure out how to be entertaining on YouTube again.
Nah, or he's just full of shit.
Here's the thing. This wasn't about winning the audience back. This wasn't about winning any.
One thing I couldn't get over is Boogie's never-ending excuses for not getting a job. In the documentary, Boogie gets taken to see a headhunter for mock interviews. She asks what skills he possesses, and he lists off all of his health issues.
So you are here today because you are seeking employment.
Yeah.
You're seeking out new work opportunities.
Absolutely.
Tell me a little bit about your background and where you think you want to go with the experience that you already have.
I did work at a small gaming store back in 2006, 2007. I am disabled.
recognized by the state of Arkansas, but also the United States government. There's that. Now, the downside of that is I am extremely depressed. So there's some mental health issues that we bring to the table. And then physically, I am morbidly obese. I have no references, no work history, and no education. And when you Google my name, you might see rumors that I beat my ex-wife, and I am also a pedophile.
The acting police chief of Dalton has been charged with bankruptcy fraud. Louis Lacey is accused of filing misleading statements in his 2019 bankruptcy case. He's actually the second top aide to Henyard to face federal bankruptcy fraud charges in recent months.
Everything is falling apart for the super mayor Tiffany Henyard, one of her last loyal people. Louis Lacey has been charged in federal court for bankruptcy fraud. Why is all of her A1s lying to the feds about bankruptcy? Let's check this out. This actually I just saw this a few minutes ago, so we're gonna kind of look through it ourselves here, but not great at all. On a Monday, a police officer for the village of Dalton, Illinois was indicted today by a federal grand jury in Chicago on bankruptcy fraud charges for allegedly engaging in a scheme to conceal assets and income from creditors and prevent payment of a settlement of a lawsuit. This was a 9-count indictment. Louis A. Lacey, 61 years old, with bankruptcy fraud, making false statements, perjury, lying. Each count is punishable by a maximum sentence of 5 years in federal prison. Damn, not good. This has nothing to do with anything, but the Inspector General of the U.S. Small Business Administration, his name is Hannibal Ware. Hopefully he's a good dude. According to the indictment, Lacey, since the 1980s, has filed numerous personal bankruptcy cases in the U.S. Bankruptcy Court for the Northern District of Illinois, including petitions in 2019 and 2020. The recent petitions automatically stayed enforcement of a settlement agreement Lacey had reached in 2017 with a plaintiff in a lawsuit in state court. The indictment alleged that Lacey filed the 2019 bankruptcy petition after the plaintiff moved to enforce the settlement agreement, accusing Lacey of still owing $43,000 of the $55,000 settlement. This dude was making 6-figure settlements. He was making more money on overtime than he was at his regular job. He couldn't pay it? What was he doing with his money?
We thought it also important for you to know that Acting Chief Lacey has accumulated overtime. It's our understanding that he is not part of the collective bargaining unit and has not been for some time, which under normal circumstances would mean that he is not entitled to overtime. But as you can see here, for FY22, FY23, and FY24, and we're now in fiscal year 2025, through those 4 years, he has accumulated $215,747,000 just in overtime.
Then also the indictment alleged that he's a big liar. He's made several material false and fraudulent representations in oral statements and documents submitted in the bankruptcy cases, including underreporting his monthly income. You know, that 6 figures he was making, all that overtime, walking around with guarding the supermayor all over the place, just lying about how much money he was making, and concealing bank accounts that he controlled. He also lied to say he was separated from his spouse and then she did not reside with him or contribute to his monthly income and mortgage, the indictment states. This dude lied about everything. These lies allow Lacey to fraudulently calculate his monthly income for purposes of repayment of his creditors as substantially less than it should have been if his spouse contributions were included, the indictment states. And oh yeah, he's been fired. He doesn't work as a cop anymore.
There was a deputy chief that was placed on administrative leave. He disregarded it and showed up the very next day. He then received a notice that he was terminated, and he despite being notified that he was terminated and in discussions with the Fraternal Order of Police, the FOP, he again showed up today. Once again, the mayor has changed the locks at the Village Hall. Everyone recall how orderly and how nice it was to walk into the village board meeting on Monday night when the Madam Clerk and the trustees had key fobs to get into the village. Once again, this is about the third time that she has changed the locks, so the elected officials do not have access and cannot get into the Village Hall, which belongs to the people. I got a call from an attorney this afternoon who unfortunately says I have a couple lawsuits that I have to file against the village.
Tough break for Louis Lacey. So who else is snitching? Who else is going to be start snitching now? The feds got him too. If Hayward had a group of supporters that actually did not lie about their bankruptcy filings, maybe she still would have some power. But things are looking really, really bad for the super mayor. So let's recap here. This is a bombshell that reveals some serious problems in the leadership and the oversight within this village. Lacey has been hit with 9 federal charges, including bankruptcy fraud, making false statements, and perjury. This guy is supposed to be upholding the law, and he's just manipulating the system for personal gain. Lacey's alleged crimes involve years.
Hello. There at the Tokyo Game Show, I had many world records in addition to Pac-Man, in addition to the perfect game. He crowned me the video game player of the century at the Tokyo Game Show.
That's what sent me to Japan, where there was a $100,000 prize for anybody in Japan who could beat me, and nobody beat me. But it was there that I was crowned the video game player of the century. And in 1999, that was a big deal.
Because they sent me a first-class ticket to go to Japan. There in Japan, I was on stage at the Tokyo Game Show, where I was honored, I was given an award, I was crowned the video game player of the century for that achievement, along with everything that I had done prior to that.
So to be seated there in front of Masaya Nakamura, I mean, that was just too incredible not to give credit to. And you know, he was so good to me, and you know, and on stage, he presented me with my award for Pac-Man and a video game player of the century.
Headed by Namco, who created Pac-Man, flew me there without a doubt. It was the honor of all time in the gaming world. And yes, they presented me with video game player of the century.
However, aside from Billy telling this story, there is absolutely no evidence that this ever happened. Yes, Billy did appear on stage, and the photo of him holding a plaque is real. But in the years following this event, Billy toured with the plaque, and we even have photos of it and can read what it says. This is what's written on the plaque. It congratulates Billy on his perfect Pac-Man score and advertises the upcoming release of the new Pac-Man game on the PlayStation. There is no mention of Billy being the player of the century. Even the reporting at the time didn't mention anything about the player of the century. Instead, they just said Billy received a commemorative plaque, or received the Pac-Man 20th Anniversary Award, which, according to the text on the plaque itself, is exactly what he received. There was never any statement from Namco that they crowned Billy Player of the Century, no reporting at the time reported this, and the plaque itself doesn't even say it. It's almost as if Billy Mitchell made it up. Since this time, there has only ever been one plaque, and it's always the same one that Billy took around and showed off to people at conventions. At some point, the bottom broke off the award, which is why it looks different in later photos. This story is very important to Billy, and he repeats it all the time.
Took me to Asia, where in 1999, after having performed history's first perfect Pac-Man on stage at the Tokyo Game Show in front of 70,000 people, Masaya Nakamura presented me the Video Game Player of the Century Award.
The plaque was even shown off in The King of Kong. But according to Twin Galaxies, Billy Mitchell has been lying about what happened for over 2 decades. And as part of the discovery process in their lawsuit against him, they wanted to get a hold of the plaque to show that it didn't say anything about the Player of the Century. However, Billy Mitchell refused to hand over anything. He said he didn't have the plaque, he said he didn't have any photos, he said he didn't have any documentation from Namco saying they gave him the award, nor did he have any video from the event itself showing what happened. He had nothing. Then, during Billy Mitchell's deposition in January, he said the most peculiar thing. He said that he actually received 2 plaques from Namco.
All right. Can you tell me what this is?
This is a plaque I received from them. That's the Pac-Man guy that I talk about. And this is the one that talks about Pac-Man and how it's
such a part of the culture, how I achieved the first perfect score.
Is this your Player of the Century plaque?
No, this is a different one.
Is this the one that you were holding in the picture?
No, it's not.
So you were given two different plaques?
2 awards from Namco.
All right.
Just like I said earlier.
And this was one of them, the other one was the Player of the Century?
That's correct.
Do you have any copies of the Player of the Century plaque?
No.
Any pictures of it?
I guess no. I'd have to look for them. I don't know if I do.
Have you looked for any of those pictures?
I haven't found any to this point.
Billy claims that all of the photos of the plaque that were taken after the event, you know, the plaque that he literally toured with and showed off to everyone, wasn't the Player of the Century plaque. The Player of the Century plaque is the one that he received on stage, and the one everyone's seen since then is a different one. The Player of the Century plaque has never been photographed up close, has never been shown to the public, and has been hidden away from everyone since 1999. And the very first mention of this second plaque just happens to be in 2023, a quarter of a century after he was given it. Billy wants us to believe that Namco decided to randomly give him 2 awards that look identical, but with one of them having some extra text saying that he is the Player of the Century. But this second award was never mentioned, never hinted at, never shown, and for all intents and purposes didn't exist until now. If you're wondering why Billy has to create this second plaque, it's because, as I mentioned before, the plaque we've all seen says nothing about the Player of the Century. So Billy has to invent a second one that no one has ever seen that definitely does say Player of the Century on it. So where is this Player of the Century plaque? Well, according to Billy, he donated it to the Video Game Hall of Fame in 2010.
Where's that plaque located today?
It would be, I believe it's at the Hall of Fame.
Where's that?
That's in Ottumwa, Iowa.
Is that the International Video Game Hall of Fame?
That is.
Okay. How did it get there?
Well, maybe it was 2010 that I initially donated it there.
However, when Twin Galaxies deposed the director of the Video Game Hall of Fame, Jerry Byram, he said that Billy never donated it, and that the Video Game Hall of Fame doesn't have the plaques. Twin Galaxies also spoke with Brian Cady, who Billy said was at the Hall of Fame at the time he donated it.
And who did you donate it to?
The International Video Game Hall of Fame.
Was there anyone in particular that you gave the plaque to?
Well, at the time, Brian Cady was there, and Jerry Byram was there.
But again, Brian said that this never happened. Basically, the plaques no longer existed. Billy couldn't provide them, and Billy had no photos of them. But then, in a shocking turn of events, on the 26th of June, Billy did provide a recent photo of the plaques, and proclaimed that they had been found. And this, my friends, is where things get really, really weird. The picture Billy provided shows multiple awards. One of them was a certificate given to Billy by Walter Day with the title Player of the Century. To be clear, this is the only time anyone has actually crowned Billy the Player of the Century. But given that Walter Day is Billy Mitchell's lifelong friend and business partner, it doesn't really carry much weight. That would be like me calling Moist Critical the Video Game Player of the Millennium, and then he just goes and calls himself that for the next 20 years. Well, in a crazy coincidence, I did crown Moist Critical the Video Game Player of the Millennium in a secret ceremony. I even gave him a plaque, though unfortunately, you'll never get to see it. But you know this is true, because Moist Critical himself is now calling himself the Video Game Player of the Millennium.
Hey, it's me, Moist Critical. Video Game Player of the Millennium, Intergalactic Gaming Champion, Cosmic Gaming Warlord, the Barbarian of the Digital Realm.
And if he said it, it must be true. Honestly, Video Game Player of only the Century is pretty pathetic when Charlie has 1,000 years covered. I thought Billy Mitchell was a really good player, but compared to Charlie, he honestly kind of sucks. The interesting thing about this certificate is that it keeps changing, and you can easily tell that it changes because of the colors of the ribbon. In the King of Kong, the colors go blue, white, red, but in this new photo, the colors go blue, red, white. A rookie mistake if you ask me. But the real main attraction of this photo are the plaques. And again, they are completely different to the plaque that has been photographed before. The biggest difference is the size of Pac-Man, which is way smaller in the new photo. By comparing the dimensions, we can confirm for a fact that these plaques are not the same ones that we've seen before. Conveniently, Billy sent through a photo that was so low quality that you can't read anything, a feat that you literally have to purposely do because no phone or camera takes photos this poorly these days. But even with the low quality, many differences can be spotted. Aside from the size of Pac-Man, the legs on the plaque are way different. Billy wants to claim that the unbroken plaque is the Player of the Century one, because the broken one is the one that he toured with. However, even if you believe this, the legs are completely different to the ones on the plaque he was given on stage. Honestly, the plaques are so obviously fake and different that you would have to be a complete moron to even attempt to pass them off as real. And yet, this was literally given as evidence by Billy Mitchell's lawyers. They looked at this photo and said, yes, this is legit, let's send it over. Naturally, Twin Galaxies wanted to know who found the plaques, where they are now, and they wanted better quality photos so they could, actually read them. Billy's lawyer said the plaques were found by John Grunwald, who is a friend of Billy's. But when Twin Galaxies deposed John, he said that he didn't find them, and that he didn't have them. However, he did say that it was a man by the name of Triforce Johnson that found them. Truth be told, Twin Galaxies already knew who took the picture, and how they found out perfectly demonstrates how incompetent the people in Billy's camp are. In the photo that Billy sent, you'll notice there is a laptop on the right, and it just so happens that the laptop was partially showing a YouTube video. Well, Twin Galaxies was able to track down that YouTube video, and lo and behold, in the comment section was a comment by the channel Empire Arcadia. Empire Arcadia is run by a man known as Triforce Johnson. Triforce is one of the biggest Billy Mitchell shills on the planet. He also shills for Todd Rogers and is part of the con artist clique. This guy is a compulsive liar and a fraudster just like Billy and Todd, and he does everything he can to help them in their fraud.
Because your score, the amount of men you have, the amount of Donkey Kongs that appear on the screen, all changes the way the next level will be loaded. It all has some type of effect to the game. And that's why you get these different inconsistent pieces and elements. What we're talking about is one frame, a single frame, which is 2/3 of 1 second that was caught. And they're saying this one frame is from me, and that is the entire argument.
Twin Galaxies had been trying to find out who found the plaques for almost an entire month, and were given multiple false answers by Billy's lawyers. And then, as soon as John Grunwald testified that Triforce had found them, Billy Mitchell's lawyers suddenly knew exactly what happened. And the story they created is mind-blowingly stupid. Remember, Twin Galaxies want the plaques, and Billy doesn't want to give them to Twin Galaxies because they are fake. And here is the story they are now telling as to why they can't give the plaques over. According to Billy Mitchell's lawyers, Triforce found the plaques by accident while looking for something else while in Iowa for a gaming event. Then he took photos of them, but only sent over one super low quality photo where you can't read anything. On his way back to his home country of Jamaica, Triforce brought the plaques along with him and stopped at Florida to give the plaques to Billy without notifying Billy beforehand. But because his flight was delayed, he couldn't contact Billy to give the plaques to him. So he sent the plaques back to Iowa to the Hall of Fame director, Jerry Byram. Thus, Billy doesn't have the plaques, so he can't give them over. Now, just to explain why this is insanely dumb, Billy Mitchell's lawyers are claiming that Triforce brought the plaques to Florida with the specific intention of giving them to Billy Mitchell without even telling Billy he was coming. And when Billy Mitchell wasn't there, instead of sending them to Billy Mitchell, which was the entire point of bringing them there in the first place, he randomly sent them back to Iowa. It's not like he just put the plaques in his suitcase either. He put them in a huge box and made John Grunwald pay for extra checked-in luggage to bring it, so it just makes no sense that he would then just send it back to where he came from after he landed. And I guarantee these plaques will never see the light of day again. By this stage, Twin Galaxies have had enough, and have filed a declaration to the court outlining that Billy's lawyers are providing fake evidence and fake statements from witnesses. I'll cover it in a future video, but according to Twin Galaxies, Billy Mitchell's son has been writing fake statements on behalf of witnesses that weren't true at all. So when it came time to depose those witnesses, they told a completely different story. And these witnesses also confirmed that it was Billy Mitchell's son that wrote the statements, not them. Twin Galaxies showed concrete proof in this new filing that the plaques were fake. They showed the side-by-side comparison and listed the differences. And Billy Mitchell's lawyers ignored the evidence completely and just said it was a theory, claiming that Twin Galaxies was saying the plaques were fake just because they think Billy was only awarded 1 instead of 2. That makes absolutely no sense. I mean, you know that his lawyers are corrupt because no lawyer is this moronic. This is intentional obtuseness, and I really hope these lawyers get sanctioned at some point for being complicit in fabricating fake evidence and making up lies on behalf of their client. The funniest part of all of this is that the original plaque that Billy Mitchell received on stage was probably made by Billy himself. I mean, it seems quite obvious what happened when you think for a second about what the plaque actually says. Have you ever seen an award or trophy that has someone's address on it? Have you ever seen an award or trophy that starts with Dear Billy? This is just a letter that Billy received from Namco, which he then turned into a plaque. Billy then took the plaque to Japan and got Masaya Nakamura to give it to him for a photo op. Every claim that Billy was crowned Player of the Century comes from Billy, not Namco. The whole thing is just completely fake. And the fact that Billy was able to recreate plaques that was somewhat similar to the original confirms at the very least he knows how to make them. If you were to ask me how to create these plaques, I wouldn't even know where to begin. I really hope you like Billy Mitchell content because so much is happening right now and I
$1 million deals on Shark Tank are a rarity, but business flops are very common. In today's video, we'll delve into the stories of entrepreneurs who were able to convince the sharks to invest over $1 million, only for their ventures to go bust. Andrew McMurray from New York entered the tank seeking $2.5 million for a 10% stake in his single-serve wine business, Zips. If you're a regular Shark Tank viewer, you might recall the similar product Copa di Vino and its owner, James Martin, who famously pitched to the Sharks twice and rejected all offers both times. Andrew demonstrated his product to the Sharks, a sturdy wine glass-shaped plastic package with a recyclable plastic jacket that unzips to access the wine, hence the name Zips. The Sharks were impressed with Zips' clever packaging, but couldn't help comparing it to their infamous Copa di Vino. Andrew clarified that he had the rights to use similar wine sealing technology, but the main difference was Zips' superior shelf life thanks to its shrink-wrapped plastic jacket that provides UV protection. Kevin O'Leary, who owns his own vineyard and wines, was himself in the process of getting his brand into Costco, so he had a solid understanding of the wine business. He was less than impressed by Andrew's total sales of $650,000. Andrew hoped to get all 5 sharks on board and tried to appeal to Mark Cuban by mentioning that some of his other investors were also professional sports team owners. However, Mark hated the branding and was the first to be out. Although Kevin was the harshest, he made an offer of $2.5 million for a 10% stake, plus the option to buy another $2.5 million of equity at the same valuation in the event of an exit, all contingent on getting the wine into Costco. Robert Herjavec called it the best offer Kevin had ever made to anyone. Andrew accepted the offer, making it one of the biggest deals in Shark Tank history. Andrew McMurray appeared on Beyond the Tank a couple of years later to give an update on Zips. It was revealed that Andrew was still working as the vice president of his in-law's successful wine retailer, suggesting that Zips didn't have his full attention. Although he had gotten Zips into several sports stadiums and brought in $2 million in sales, the business had not yet turned a profit. Andrew had not secured a wine partner to focus solely on selling the packaging technology. Kevin popped in for a visit and was not stoked about Zips' slow progress. The business had about $4 million in funding left, which would keep them afloat for only 18 months at the current rate. They needed to produce over 1 million cases of single-serve wines to meet the demands of wineries, venues, and big box stores. But their current manufacturing equipment maxed out at just 400,000 cases a year. Kevin urged Andrew to get out of wine production and find a co-packer to fill large orders, get Zips into a big box store, collect royalties, and actually grow the business. 5 major wine brands were shelf life testing Zips, which alarmed Kevin as it indicated that the technology might not be good enough. Meanwhile, Kevin had packaged his own wines in Zips to demonstrate its shelf stability and worth to other wine brands. 2 months later, Kevin returned to check on Andrew, and lo and behold, they were standing in a packaging facility with the capacity to produce 2 million cases of Zips per year. Andrew had also secured a partnership with a major winery to take over the wine production side of things. The segment ended on a hopeful note, with Kevin and Andrew toasting to their success. Fast forward to 2021. If you were wondering what happened to the Costco contingency, Kevin revealed in an interview with WineSpectator.com that the deal fell through after he brought some Zip samples to the superstore's head wine buyer, only for the wine to leak all over her purse. Consequently, Costco was not mentioned in the Beyond the Tank segment. Unfortunately for Zips, the demand wasn't there, even after pivoting to a packaging and licensing business. Zips' social media pages have been dormant since 2016, and its website no longer exists. Although Zips failed, Andrew appears to still be working for his in-laws wine retailer. It seems unlikely Zips will make a comeback, especially given
Last time I was with the cop, they tried to break into my phone.
Listen, I know a lot more about this than you do, okay? Hey, how you doing? I'm good. I'm Deputy Ellis Sheriff's Office. Come here and talk to me real quick. You understand why Deputy Mandalay stopped you?
Oh yeah, he said my headlight was out. I didn't know it was. I thought it was just my brights.
Just your brights?
Yes.
Okay, I gotcha.
And I haven't had time because I worked 91 hours last week.
Holy shit, that's a lot. Yeah. When was the last time you smoked?
Like 2 hours ago.
Like 2 hours ago? Okay, because your pupils are like massive.
Well, I just have anxiety.
You got anxiety? All right, well, take a deep breath for me. All right, cool. So I just want to make sure that you're safe to operate a motor vehicle, okay? All right, cool. So would you allow me to check your eyes and do a couple other things, stuff like that? All right, so first things first, I just want to look at your eyes real fast. Go ahead and place your feet together for me. All right, take your hands and place them down to your side. What colors are the tip of the pen?
Red.
All right, so follow the red tip. With your eyes only, don't move your head. You understand? All right, just close your eyes for me real quick. All right, you're good. All right, go ahead and open your eyes. See the red light? Again, it's going to go around your face twice in a circle, this time coming towards the bridge of your nose. Look at it the whole time for me, okay?
You want me to follow it?
Yep. Oh, look right here. What'd you say?
I said I'm just nervous because I had a really bad encounter with the cop.
I got you. Well, I'm just trying to make sure you're safe to drive, like I said. All right, so during the exercise, it's 9 steps down the line, touching heel to toe, not stepping off the line, keeping your hands down at your side, looking down at your feet, counting your steps out loud. All right, do you have any questions? All right, whenever you're ready, you can begin the exercise.
And then go backwards?
This is I explained, yes ma'am.
Like I told her.
Just like-
There's nothing,
Just like I explained, I can't give you any direction during the exercise, okay?
One.
All right. Next thing I want you to do is I'm going to have you take either foot, right or left's the foot of your choice, whichever one you want, okay? I'm going to have you hold that foot approximately 6 inches off the ground, just like this. Keeping your hands down at your side and your head looking down the toe of your raised foot. I want you to count out loud. 1, 1,000, 2, 1,000, 3, 1,000, 4, 1,000, 5, 1,000, so on and so forth till I tell you to stop, okay? You have any questions?
So I just pick my foot up, whichever one I want, and count 1, 1,000 until you say stop. But if I drop it, I just pick it back up and keep going.
Yes, ma'am. You can begin the exercise.
1,000.
Remember to look at your foot the whole time.
1, let's see. 17.
You can stop there.
Oh, my
All right. So, I do have a couple questions to ask you, okay?
Yes.
All right. Prior to asking any questions, I do have to read your Miranda rights. Does not mean you're under arrest, okay? It just means I want to talk to you about your night, what's going on.
Yes, sir.
Obviously, smoking some weed, things like that. The whole nine, okay? All right.
Sorry, my legs hurt and now I need not.
No worries. All right. So, listen to me real quick, okay? So, Calista, you do have the right to remain silent. Anything you say can will be used against you in the court of law. All right. Do you understand why I referred to you? All right, cool. Having your rights in mind, will you answer a couple questions for me?
Yes, sir.
All right, cool. What time do you get to work today?
Probably like 3:50.
Okay. All right, what time do you get off?
Probably around like 8:30ish.
8:30? All right, what time do you think it is right now?
Like 10, almost around 10.
It's 10:30. All right, so if you got off at 8:30 and it's 10:30, what'd you do in between then?
During the rush, we went out, and that's whenever we had, and I went and back in, did all my closing stuff, and then we all hung outside, and now I left for work. I mean to come home from.
I'm confused. Okay, so you got, what time, so you clocked out of work at 8:30?
I got done with all my stuff, so that's when we went out.
Like,
all the tables were done, we stopped taking them.
Gotcha. Where'd you guys go out to?
There's like a little side patio.
Okay, cool. And so you were just hanging out there?
Yeah.
For the last 2 hours?
No, not there. We went and sat in the car after.
Okay, I gotcha. All right, now you're headed home?
Yes, sir.
So, earlier you told me and Deputy Mandalay, so you smoked a little bit of weed. How much, when was that when you smoked it? It was after 8:30 in between the 10:30 area?
Like right at 8.
8-ish? Okay, cool. Was it like a blunt, bowl?
Just like a little joint.
Little joint? All right. So, have you had anything to drink tonight? Any alcoholic beverages?
No, I have a sobriety thing that I take every couple hours.
Oh, okay. Like you have to blow into it? All right. So you understand that marijuana can be impairing as well, correct?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
I'm almost having my mic card. I have the appointment.
Gotcha.
I don't like taking.
I understand. When's the last time you had something to eat?
At work.
Huh?
At work.
What'd you eat?
Salad.
Okay.
And I ate before that.
Caesar salad. What time? We were
Probably
talking
around
about
like
Caesar salads.
when I got there.
So like 3?
5 maybe.
Okay.
I got there 3.
Gotcha. All right. So, honest question: would you say you feel any of the effects of the marijuana you've used?
The effects, like.
Any of the
impaired?
effects? Yeah. Do you feel any of the effects of the marijuana you used?
No, I usually just smoke it before I go to bed so I can be calm and my mind not race and go to sleep. I'm just really nervous because last time I was with the cop, they tried to break into my phone and trashed my car and all this other stuff, and it was a really bad.
Did you get arrested previously?
No, my friends got into a fight on the beach and they called the cops, so the cops came and I was drinking at the time of that and they arrested me for that, but after they did, they went and found my phone and keys and took a to-go box from my car and threw my phone in it and shook it up with sand and cracked it, and there's like a voicemail of them doing all that.
That's shitty.
It just makes me...
Gotcha. Well, we're not going to do all that to you, okay? I do have one more question to ask you, okay? On a scale of 1 to 10, okay, 1 being stone cold sober, so you have not used any marijuana at all. 10 being like the most fucked up you've ever been, where would you put yourself on a scale?
Probably a 0, because I'd have to I have a higher tolerance, so since it was so long ago, I usually would when I go home to go to bed.
Gotcha. All right, well, listen, Calista, do me a favor, okay? Go ahead and place your hands behind your back. Right now, you are going to be placed under arrest for DUI. I do think that your normal faculties are impaired, okay, on the marijuana. All right. Place your hands together for me real quick. Just place your hands for me. Can you hold that or jack it up for me? Out, because you showed signs of impairment on all the exercises, okay? All right.
Wow, though, I'm just having an anxiety attack. You can feel my heart racing.
Okay, that's not an anxiety attack.
Is it 10?
No, not this time. Okay, so here's the deal.
Not though. You can check the security cameras at my work.
You have not what?
Smoked in hours.
Understand that marijuana is a lasting impairment, okay?
It's really not though.
Yes, it is. Listen, I know a
lot.
lot more about this than you do, okay? Come on over here for me and have a seat for me real fast, all right?
This was for my headlights not being in.
Okay, well, that's the reason for the traffic stop. During the traffic stop,
Please, I've worked every day this week. I'm just tired and I am
Come over here and have a seat
having
for
an
me.
anxiety attack. Can you please call my mom?
Delta 4176. How old are you?
Please, 19.
All right, come over
Please
here.
do not.
All right, come have a seat for me real fast.
Please.
Come have a seat for me real quick.
I'm literally. Please let me redo it. Please. I'm having an anxiety
Have a
attack.
seat
Feel
for
my
me.
heart rate.
Can you sit down?
Like y'all can call a doctor. Like.
No, have a seat and we'll talk to you about it. Okay?
Please.
Sit down.
I literally work 91 hours. You know how hard that is on a child.
Hey, you have to sit.
Y'all have to literally feel that I'm shaking and nervous and cold and like I can redo the test. I will calm down. Just call, get my medicine or something.
We'll work on that. Have a seat for me, okay? Watch your foot.
Don't leave. Close the door. I'll stay here.
I have to close the
It's
door.
gonna make my anxiety so much. Please.
Just hang tight for me. I have to close the door.
Stay here with it open, please.
Just hang tight for me 1 second. I gotta close the door. We'll sit inside and talk to you, okay? I promise. Huh? No. Hey.
Day off tomorrow. Like I want to go home to my family. Like,
Okay, so.
It's my birthday this week.
Okay. So yeah, marijuana impairment doesn't last for just an hour. I know so.
To make me feel
100%. So I'm a drug recognition expert. I'm a certified expert in the court on impairment. Okay. Marijuana impairment peak high lasts 2 to 4 hours with lasting effects up to 24 hours. No.
Like, on my birthday this week, I'm tired. I just have anxiety. Like, can you please redo the test? I can show you.
No. All right. So, hey, we're going to ask that did you get arrested for a DUI or something? Then why, I thought you said you had to blow into a breathalyzer thing every couple hours.
Me and my boyfriend got into a fight. Alcohol was the source of it.
Where? It's in your car? It's in your purse? Oh. So listen, when we get to the jail, we're going to ask you to submit to a urine sample. Is that something you'd be willing to do for us?
I can, but for what?
To determine the chemical or controlled substances in your body? It's part of what happens when you get arrested for DUI.
But where's the proof